What is up and what's going on, fellow Pantheon viewers? Welcome to another
Hey.
Thursday Pantheon stream with
It's
myself,
Thursday.
Chillmonger,
Gotta get down on
and the
Thursday.
bus.
Everybody's looking forward
We
to the
have a
weekend. Partying. Fun. Looking forward to the weekend. Well,
I'm gonna let you handle the intro.
I don't have my hat on, so it's got to be you, bro.
Well, now.
Go ahead. You're the intro
We
guy.
do have a few different things that we're going to talk to you guys about today. We are going to get into Shannon Sharpe seems to be in trouble yet again. We are going to talk about Sinners, and it's now second week in theaters. We are also going to discuss, I apologize. We're also going to discuss Star Wars Celebration, and that was last week, and we'll discuss how that went for Lucasfilm, and we're also going to discuss some MCU
Here
storm
comes the
news.
money.
Here we go.
Money.
So we're going to discuss all of those things, and again, I
Yeah,
apologize
somebody
to the
gonna
viewers
get
on your
paid.
end if my camera is blurry. I do apologize. It is still situations being worked out. So appreciate everybody being here. Before we get into anything, Chill, how have you been since the last time we saw you?
Situations working out. My camera's out, but I gotta go on without it. And I slurp my slushy. It's okay. You don't have to call, 'cause my mic is on. And I'ma talk to Marcus and Chill. Baby, you don't have to call.
Are you Darius?
Yeah, it was Darius today.
Okay, got it. Darius used to be an R&B singer.
Yeah, he was still. That tattoo actually that he's got, it was lyrics to his famous song. So he's like, let me immortalize it and keep it on me.
You know what's crazy is that you wrote them lyrics before the show so you could sing the song. That was actual dedication. Like you were committed to singing that ditty.
You know,
It's impressive.
You know me. You know what? I actually prepared one thing for this stream. It's when we talk about Shannon Sharpe. I'm gonna say, when we talk about sinners, I'm gonna say, variety, sobriety, don't lie to me. Sinners in 5. I prepared that. This was off the dome though.
So
we go pretend you never heard it, and then we'll do it, and then
okay,
we can put it on the Pantheon Live Clips channel, and it'll be a thing.
Bet.
Yeah. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking, Darius. So you were going to ask me how I'm doing. I am in a very good mood, Darius. I was working on something related to Captain America, Red, White, and Truth. This is Isaiah Bradley. He's got his big documentary coming out. Talked to a couple folks. Some dude who worked on the Ianu series, and I may have some content coming up in the future. So that's cool to be recognized by someone who I appreciate, who appreciated my appreciation. So that's always good. So, things are up on Chillmonger.
Very nice, very nice. Marcus, how have you been since last time we spoke with you?
Doing well, man. Doing okay. Hopefully we'll see Sinners this weekend. Take a look at that so I can join the craze. Yeah. Other than that, it's good.
Well, you still haven't seen it.
I have not seen it yet. I was supposed to see it on discount day. Didn't happen. So try to see it on Friday.
Should have gone and seen this thing, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong button. You should have gone and seen this thing, bro. IMAX 70mm perforations. You got, you know what I mean? We got the whole thing that he filmed it for this reason. Smoke and Stack Brothers. What you know about Smoke and Stack, bro?
Nothing. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, but you didn't even know which one's which. Which one's Smoke and which one's Stack? They wear red and they wear blue.
Stack is the one with the gold tooth.
Yes,
I think you're right.
he is. Yeah, I've seen it twice now.
The second time you watched it, did you? A light spoiler, but did you notice that? No, never. I can't say it. Sorry, I can't say it because it's towards the ending of the movie. The door was locked.
I will say, with my second watch of it, it is a different. I have a different understanding than I did than my first watch. And then the reason I say I have a different understanding, obviously, I understood everything in the film, all the the first time I watched, as far as like what it was trying to convey, the messages and things like that. The only thing that I said, I think the biggest thing that I said in my review was the horror element. The last time we talked about this last Thursday, I was looking for horror, blah, 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 looking for the jump scares and things like that. Upon my second watch and kind of just through this week of looking at different reviews and things like that, and having a better understanding of what Coogler was trying to convey, my takeaway from this was not every horror film is going to be, has the jump scare moments. Not every horror film is looking for that jump scare to make you, cover your face in a film. Sometimes horror films are what this film was trying to convey, and that is the effects of Jim Crow, the effects of your culture being stolen, things like that. I think that is the horror elements that Coogler was after, and obviously perfected to a T, because I said the first time, Sinners is not a bad movie. I gave the score that I gave to it because of the horror, but upon my second watch, I obviously give it a higher score than I've given it. And then watching all the interviews and things that have been coming out this week from Delroy Lindo, and then just everything, especially the scene where he said he didn't, that it was a 3-page monologue of them in the car, and then the song is something he ad-libbed. I think I gave him his flowers our first time we talked about it, but that's pretty impressive. So it is a good film.
Solid review. I've heard mostly solid reviews. Honestly, I think the only battle this film has to fight is itself. It's its own studio. I think that they undersold it. It's not in as many theaters as Minecraft. It's not even in as many theaters as a film like The Amateur that's out right now. And so the fact that it's pacing behind them just in terms of capturing screens, and the IMAX thing plays a role, but to hell with that, man. Like, book the theaters, show that you have confidence in it. Warner Brothers, same studio, put Minecraft in 4,000 auditoriums, 4,000 theaters. They shot Sinners 600 theaters short of that. A little bit more, actually. And so when you talk about Ryan spent $90 million getting this thing together, a lot of that having to do with how it was shot, I would imagine. I don't know, man. It feels like there was some funky math put together here to try and slow this thing down. And to try to have it, because the worries about it being financially viable are not unfounded. They're not. 60 million in the opening weekend is strong. It's very strong. It's
Domestic 60 million.
That's the world. It was 60. It was what, 63.
I apologize. You're right. You're right. Yeah. But domestically it was 45, and internationally was only 15. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to chime in that internationally it's performing poorly compared to what it should be domestic.
And that's okay. When black films perform well, it's usually the American domestic audience that carries it. So that tracks with how, black lead films perform in America if they're going to perform well. But it feels like the studio's working against it, because you talk about, all right, our starting point should hit 100 million this weekend. Cool. Our starting point for financial viability, like getting out of the black, is somewhere around 180, 190 million because of what we spent to create it. So that's just the start, just to double the budget. We haven't talked about anything about marketing. We haven't talked anything about any type of, if it took longer. We know it didn't take longer to shoot this film. He shot this shit fast as hell. I don't know, but films incur extra cost along the way, right? And so before you even talk about any of the other stuff on the balance sheet, just clearing the budget, let's get to 180. It's got 60 in the first weekend. Let's say it does another 40 and we get to 100 million in the second weekend. The problem is that the closer we get to Lilo and Stitch, The closer we get to Mission
Thunderbolts.
Impossible, and the fact that they didn't put it in enough theaters, so now you got to go back and you got to purchase the theaters to get it on more screens, which they are not incentivized to do at this point. You got Thunderbolts coming out. You got like I said, Lilo and Stitch. You got Mission Impossible. They're not incentivized to pull those things for the 4th or 5th week of Sinners. And so they should have come out strong the way that they did for Minecraft to give this film the opportunity to maximize. And I don't think they did that. Now, a publication like Variety is not going to have that kind of nuance. They're just going to say, I don't know about the Sinners movie. It may just all be hype. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it feels like hate then. But
it wasn't hype when it had a minus 36% drop Sunday to Monday. That wasn't hype.
Yeah. So I mean, is that what the I want to see what the weekend drop is, because again, that's going to tell the story. If they're it's
so you know what'll help, Marcus? What if WB goes, oh, people like this movie? Next weekend on Friday, you'll notice that it's not in just 3,000 theaters. It's in 4,000 theaters because, the people have spoken. Will make it available.
But at this point now, they have to buy those theaters. So now they're spending money to go back and make the money, It's
going to be worth it, though. This is cultural iconic. This is...
Sure, if you think it's going to go hit a billy, go do it.
Go do it. No.
But, but at that point, it's like you're doing it because you want to get over the hump financially, but then you got to spend the money to try and do it. So it's not that much of a gain.
I also wonder how much did Ryan Coogler put up? He was going to other studios shopping around like this idea. Maybe he's telling them, I know I'm going to have ownership for 25 years. That's a guaranteed. I need ownership. Well, also studios, you only need to fork up 70 million of this 90 million budget. I got the other 20 million.
You think he put up 20?
I don't know.
I mean, but then that again, if he's taking on, that piece of the financial responsibility, then I would think that would again incentivize them to try to get their share back. It's only if they have the maximum amount of liability that they would turn and be like, oh, well, no, let's just try to recoup ours, and anything beyond that is Ryan's business. If he's going to assume part of the financial, that would only lend to him having more good faith with them. So I just don't understand why they would do it like this. Why would you show a movie like Sinners less faith than you showed Minecraft?
Nope was a film with 72% domestic audience and only 28% international audience. There's a big world outside of the United States and Canada. That domestic should never be 72%. But, I don't think Universal even tried selling it to an international audience. If we go to a movie like, Minecraft movie, look, 48% domestic 51 international. People showed up for Jason Momoa, Jack Black, and them. It's uncommon.
And it's fair to say, Minecraft is a bigger brand than a Jordan Peele movie or even a Sinners.
That doesn't explain the split.
No, that could be explained in the marketing, like you said. I do think the story and the niche of the of the movie itself kind of narrows in the audience a bit. I don't know if those stories necessarily play internationally, but it does speak to the audience interest in marketing to markets outside of the US for these type of movies. Again, when you look at the numbers, it just bears out pretty plainly that they did not invest in terms of number of screens in this movie like they have done other titles they got going on. So
I was listening to Fatal J yesterday on his stream, and he said that he didn't see any marketing. His wife just asked him about, do you want to go see the Sinners movie? Oh, that's coming out this weekend? And he was surprised. I feel, though, that the Sinners movie was marketed very good and for a long time, for like the 3 weeks leading up to it. We always had something to say about the movie. Remember the Kodak explanation of all the films, and then there was podcast interviews that he's been doing that I've been covering. I feel like Ryan Coogler did a good job. They hit the morning shows and the late nights. They did it all. Do you think that they lacked when it came to marketing? I thought they did excellent and went beyond.
But
like he knew he was going to own it.
Markets where we're at in North America, the film's doing well, right? Like you could probably lump in Canada's numbers with America. We don't know what this thing is doing in the UK. We don't know what it's doing in China. We don't know what it's doing in other places of the world where they show movies. That's part of the international market too.
Yeah, but they speak English in England, so they probably saw the same stuff we saw.
That's not the point. I'm saying we don't know what's being played on their media. We're not there. We're not watching TV there. We're not
No, that
on
is
the
my point.
YouTube algorithms there.
I don't know that the English, everyone, Australia, or like people who speak the language, I don't think they're getting a different version of marketing. I think they all saw Ryan Coogler speaking about this is how films are shot.
Maybe, but maybe it's not pushed as much there as it is over here. Again, you have to buy marketing, so that you have to decide where you're going to push these products. Even for, YouTube is pretty flat. Anybody can get on YouTube anywhere, but anything outside of social media marketing, like physical marketing, standees,
Okay,
promotional stuff like that, marketing material,
I do mean
that
social
stuff has
media.
to be bought and sent. Yeah.
But I am
If we're just
talking about that.
straight up social media, then it's flattened. Everybody who has social media can technically see the same stuff. The algorithm kind of dictates that, but in the theoretical way, it all could be the same. But there's much more to the marketing of a major film like this than just social media. That's only one aspect of the money they're spending.
All right. Can I show you this? Like, he
ahead.
was talking to Jordan, and Jordan the Stallion is a popular kind of TikTok creator, and I think that his audience has some people in Australia, in Great Britain, in the English.
But this is one content creator. Again, we're talking about mass media. Marvel shows their previews, right? They have their first looks a lot of time at the halftime of sporting events, NBA finals, college football playoff games, the Super Bowl, right? Other countries don't have that kind of stuff. They don't have those kind of vehicles. So again, the type of media we're talking about, social media is a part of it, right? That's millions of people, and it does circulate a lot, but it doesn't have the same influence as a TV commercial on cable television. Doesn't have the same influence as a billboard that you pass every day on the freeway home. And I don't know if they're spending that type of money on these films internationally. They would on other ones.
It doesn't have the same influence. Are you saying that there's more influence?
There's a lot more ways to market than just social media.
Which one's more powerful? The billboard?
The infinite other ways. You're just talking about one avenue. Like it would be like going into war and having a 45 on your hip, right? And your 45 is social media. It's effective. It does what it does, but then you don't use any other weapons. You don't use an M16. You don't use a bazooka. You don't use a Panzer. You don't use a tank. You don't use a helicopter. You don't use a submarine. You don't use anything else. Just the 45 you got on your hip. That's what I'm saying. The infinite amount of other ways you could market could gain more people than just social media. Social media is free. Everybody markets on social media.
Influential people, the common man who I decide to hit follow on and I absorb his opinion, is more influential and powerful than the news anchor who's reading it off. Than the news anchor reading off a teleprompter. Than the commercial. If that was the case,
then it would be flipped. Then the news anchors would be doing what we do, and we would be on television. Now that is changing.
The benefit of the news anchor or the mass media is that part. It's the mass. It's you touch more people. But
exactly, precisely, it's the sheer size of the platform, right? And not just the size, but the relationship that people have with the platform. Social media is still new. People still gauge it. It's still new to a lot of people. People still gauge whether or not the things that they're seeing on social media with a bit of, they still trust traditional media to a certain degree more than they do social media. And again, we can just look at how companies invest in their marketing and see where they're putting their dollars to that effect. They know where to send their message to get people to buy. And it's not that they're not marketing on social media. They're doing both. It is much more effective to have your trailer played at the
more
Super
people
Bowl
will see your trailer. More people will see your trailer during the Super Bowl than to see it on a YouTube, because someone has to go and find it on YouTube. But when it comes to trust,
no, because you can still get millions of views on YouTube. It's not just more people will see it. People are more likely to buy things that they see on cable television than they are scrolling on the internet. It's a weird kind of science, but it works. It's how all this consumption shit works. Now, maybe one day that'll be different. Maybe it won't be. It'll all change, and we will become the news anchors of tomorrow. But right now,
we're the trustworthy ones now.
I
The
believe
social
so.
media people. Yeah, of course, I would rather spend my time talking to dude on the desk, right? I would rather talk to, what's her name? Gail, the one who went to space. I'd rather talk to her than to talk to Chillmonger, who's got a small marketing, a small audience. I get that. So for that reason, sure, go with them. But when it comes to trustworthiness, bro, every week she tells you about how you gotta see this movie. It's not trustworthy. I'm trustworthy.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just the point of all this was that if they were putting genuine money into marketing centers overseas the way that they were here, right, there are a lot more ways that would show up than just social media. Social media is a way for you to kind of blanket everybody at the same time. If you are putting actual dollars into international markets, it would pop up. Okay, so Spider-Man, I think it was No Way Home. They had a car that was like webbed up. They propped it up in the middle of like a mall or some shit in Australia when they were doing the lead up for No Way Home. I think they did the same thing for Red Hawk. There was like a Red Hawk standee somewhere in the middle of the street, and it was just all marketing and promo. They had to spend money on that. They had to shut down the street to set the shit up. Had to send people out there to assemble it. You know what I'm saying? Get permits or whatever. They spent time, energy, and money to do that. That's just one example of how you are spending real life dollars and manpower for just pure advertising, right? That's not social media. Social media is just turn your phone on and go. There's little effort to that.
Smile 2 is a horror movie. It came out last October. The splits are 50-50 when it came to domestic and international.
That's pretty even. I think that speaks to where they're putting their money. If we can do that, 3. Look at all the.
Let me go. Continue with this, like, before we lose the train of thought. Domestic is 60%, and international is 39%. So this would speak to what maybe Zach, were you the one who said it, to go and check to see what other horror movies do? Beetlejuice doesn't really count as a horror, but that's 65 to 34. I guess international audience didn't care about that thing 30 years ago. Is The Substance a horror movie? I don't know, but it was domestic
22%. Domestic, Jesus.
Where are we going? Anora. What was a horror movie? Conclave. That sounds like a horror movie.
Conclave was horror. That was about the Pope dying, which is crazy, by the way.
Well, look at the
comeback out of here right after the damn movie.
28% and 71% was international. What if I told you?
I think
international audience care. Huh?
I think the majority of Catholics in the world live outside of America.
That point, that the international people actually care about their religions, and when you say that there's a movie called Sinners, they're going, that I don't want to go pay money. I got my relationship with my Lord, whatever they worship, and people are going internationally, yeah. But like home, we're kind of desensitized to it, and we just go, Sinners is the name of the movie, whatever.
There's plenty of
I wouldn't really say that home we're even desensitized to it, because there have been reports of Christians walking out. Well, I don't want to just say Christians, I guess people of faith walking out of Sinners.
Yeah, no, it's happening here too. There are people like that everywhere who are going to see this as an affront to their faith. I mean, that is a horror thing. I think the significant thing about it here with Sinners is that it is. Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't speak specifically, but I would think that it probably has direct ties to what a lot of Black Christians, hold dear about their faith. I can see the churchy vibes in some of the scenes that are depicted, even in the trailers. So, I mean, not that he has to, account for that. Everybody has to make their own decision on whether or not you're going to go see the movie. We're all adults, and he's a director. It's his job to make a movie, not to preach a sermon. We go to church on Sunday for that. So, but I guess to your point, there are people like that. It's just you're going to find that everywhere. There are people who are going to have that kind of bordered off nature to stuff that challenges their religion.
Sin is taboo. The word sinners is a word that isn't an attractive title to make me see the movie. And I'm suggesting that 15 million they made on the weekend from the international market could be 16 million, could be 20 million. I don't know, but I do think that there's people going, yeah, I'm not seeing a movie called Sinners. Like, what? Trying to go to heaven, and Sinners is the movie
Oh
that
my,
they got.
yeah. I don't know how. Like you said, I don't know how big that number is, but I
I
know
don't
they're
know
out
either.
there. I know they're out there.
And I think there's more of them out there from the international side, potentially, because they all showed up to see the Pope movie, Covenant, or whatever it was called.
Conclave.
That one. And it's, he was old, it was it was going to be relevant one day.
Liam has something to say about that.
I'm just talking about the title, not the content of the movie.
Why are you seeing Sinners? If you don't like horror, is that a lie that spirits can jump on you? Stupid because the demons don't jump on you. Yeah, I mean, again, there's controversy whenever you bring up people's religion, especially when you mix their religion into some other form of fantasy, So I think that's always going to have a adverse reaction either way. Oh, excuse me.
I should probably pull up the Sinners numbers, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's check out how it's performing. Sinners had a minus 36% drop on Monday. Now, Tuesdays, it went up by 10%, which doesn't always happen, but sure, it went up.
It's discount day.
Yeah, but it doesn't always go up by 10. Then
no, I'm just saying that assist a bit. What did Wednesday do? Where's it at?
Only a minus 17 drop. Let's go to Captain America: Brave New World and see if the Tuesday to Wednesday was minus 17. Where are we at? Captain America. Its first Wednesday, it dropped 45% from what happened on Tuesday.
Well, but we know Captain America: Brave New World was terrible. Find another horror film. Go back to the horror films and let's do that. Smile.
Oh, the horror films? Yeah, good point. So we're gonna.
We know what kind of fate Captain America had.
Yeah, Terrifier 3, which in the end only grossed 89 million, but from the Monday drop, it dropped minus 46%. The other horror movie that we're talking about, Smile, this Monday drop, it only dropped minus 62%. Yikes! So I think that Sinners is doing well. They've got the benefit of the inflated ticket prices for the IMAX.
What the fuck on Tuesday? Am I looking at that right? After the 62% drop, it was plus 42
for the Tuesday.
Yeah, the discount day might be a bump for folks. That following Tuesday, it dips a little bit. So maybe let's start. It was plus 103 on the following Friday. So Smile 2 kind of fluctuated throughout that week. 103.
But it always goes up on.
I don't know
Friday.
that
it's a weekend.
Films are really doing what horror films
not
100%
from the.
Yeah, sure.
Say it again, Darius.
I don't know that any horror films are doing what horror films used to do.
Well, all the Blue Blood franchises have been tapped. I think they've tapped Michael. They've been tapped for Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy. I think people were pretty positive on the TV show for a while for Child's Play for Chucky, but that ran dry as well. They're attempting to reboot Final Destination. See how that goes. I'm interested. I like Final Destinations.
I like Final Destinations. Those are a little too real. But the like to this day, I refuse to ride behind a diesel on the highway with anything tied down to the back. I refuse. Like I won't. But The Conjuring, I will say those, except for that last one, The
Conjuring and the Annabelle series are both doing well.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I like the little monster verse that they kind of build out there. It was pretty good. And then Insidious was okay. I didn't really like the last one, but
I didn't like the last one either. I think the last good Insidious to me was the second one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. for sure.
But I love horror films. Like I'm the type, when I go to horror films, like I said, I want to be turning lights on after the film when I'm going to the bathroom, and like I want to be scared.
I'm good on them around Halloween. Most of the year, I'm not really, not that I'm scared. I just don't really watch it all like that until Halloween comes around. Whole month of October.
I never watch horror. Don't want to be scared. Hate the genre. I watched this and it was cool.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
really. See, I'm like I'll throw on a horror movie before I like be scrolling and just throw on a horror film. Like that is, especially if it's paranormal. That's the best type of horror films to me. The paranormal stuff.
Horror films are the lifeblood of the box office, other than Marvel,
The lifeblood?
because there's always an audience. It's a consistent audience, and there's
Yeah,
always
I
a
guess
movie,
so.
even
I
if it's not
guess so.
Halloween.
People like slasher films. They do.
People forget about Friday Night, a great movie about vampires. Oh, Fright Night.
Fright Night.
I'm with you, Darius. I switch lanes immediately when encountering them diesel trucks. Sinners is a baby horror. When the cornbread scene before I spoil it for Marcus, that was like a thrilling, suspenseful, more than it was I'm scared. It was like, ooh, what's gonna happen? Yeah.
You know, it's a really good film that they also marketed as horror, but it's really not horror. It's just suspense. It was in theaters. It's on digital and everything now. With McAvoy, See No Evil, Speak No Evil. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That is
That
a
was
very- I
more
saw
of
it.
like a. It was more like a thriller. That was more like a thriller.
Yeah.
But that was a good movie.
Very
It
good
was a
movie.
good film. It was a good film.
How did it perform though? It was James McAvoy. It gets 76 million worldwide. And let's do the thing where we check Mondays. On Monday, it dropped 63%. And then back up on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think that it had a very
Tuesday, man.
miraculous
Getting there.
showing in the theaters.
Nope. We got a super chat coming.
There was
from
myself and 5 other people in my theater.
Did you see it on opening day?
I did.
That's bad.
Yes, it is.
For what? For Speak No Evil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
Speak
I
No
don't-
Evil.
I got most of the marketing for that on like Amazon or something like that. I don't think. See, good example, right? I got most of the Speak No Evil was internet marketing. It was like fucking Amazon post or some shit, or I seen the trailer being posted for the first time on Twitter, and I knew about it. I was interested to see it, but it damn wasn't a goddamn blast like any of the Marvel movies that we're going to see here over the summer, or Warner Brothers when they choose to get behind a film like fucking Chicken Jockey, whatever the hell that means.
Is that a Minecraft reference? It is.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever that means. Super chat.
Get money, don't make no money. If I ever go broke, I'ma take your money. I ain't never drop a dime.
$10 from Michael Nemo. He said Lily Depp's face was everywhere for Nosferatu.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Love vampire films, but need to take a break and haven't seen it or Sinners. The marketing between both is fascinating. I got sick of seeing her face.
Yeah, that movie, man, that was I won't say it was bad. I think it was a remake of an older movie I've never seen. But I don't know, maybe I just didn't understand it. Maybe I didn't get the point of all of it. It was like she spent the whole movie running from Dracula, and then like in the last 10 minutes, never mind. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's still going to see Nosferatu. It was confusing to me though. I was confused.
The splits for Nosferatu were 52% domestic and 47% international. That Monday drop was minus 32%. Still not as good as Sinners' Monday drop, but okay, respect.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Thank you, Michael.
What was next on our list? We did that was Sinners. What was next on it?
WrestleMania. It was an awesome event. Where was The Rock?
It was okay. It was all right.
It was okay. You're right. It was okay.
Yeah, I don't know where The Rock. Where was the final boss? How did you start off that whole shit with Cody and then don't show up to WrestleMania?
So
Did you mute yourself. You involved in this too. You had a didn't we give him an assignment?
Yeah, no, he said I got 10 free minutes now. He said no.
I literally said this is where I just sit back and listen.
Did you hear anything about Travis Scott? Did you notice that WrestleMania was happening on the weekend at all?
This weekend, I did see something about WrestleMania because I think I saw it on a TV somewhere at a restaurant. It was on the television. And then I thought immediately of you guys. And I think that's maybe when I tagged you in the picture.
Was it? Okay.
Was that on the weekend?
Well, on Sunday night, Travis Scott did Coachella on Saturday. On Sunday night, he helped John Cena win the 17th championship. So you should know that. It's culturally relevant. It'll affect your world. Okay. Next. Shannon Sharpe.
I did say I was going to go back and watch some things from YouTube, so that I could engage in conversation on the WrestleMania topic. I have just yet to find myself the time to do that. Maybe I should do that while you guys are discussing it. Should I go back and give myself a quick
I don't want to discuss it without you. I want you to be part of this discussion.
I see that. I'm going to I'm going to make sure that I do my job.
You know what we got to do, Marcus? We got to make him have a favorite. And then when we're doing the wrestling talk, we just go, oh, and then what did you think about the tag team match? And he can say, oh, yeah, I really liked it because New Day are my favorite tag team. Or I really like Io Sky. He can have his favorite, and we can always just bring him in. Did you see that one match? We only asked you to see a 10-minute portion of this, Monday Night Raw.
That sounds good. We'll give him another assignment and see if he does it.
I did see some drama.
Find a favorite wrestler. Who? Some drama who?
Something about The Rock not being there, and then
yeah. Oh yeah.
On the back about certain things.
You know what? I got some drama.
Yeah, I'm keyed in. I'm keyed in.
Let's start there. The Rock wasn't there, so it feels like Triple H is out here getting sunned by The Rock and his family, because not only is he getting stiff-armed by The Rock at WrestleMania, but he's also simultaneously pushing every nephew that The Rock has on his shows. I mean, literally every single one. Jimmy, Jay, who were the other two little guys, the tag team on SmackDown?
Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu is eating. Jacob Fatu beat Braun Strowman in a last man standing match. Now, what is the point of giving these guys these streaks? Oh, he's never lost doing this. He's never lost at this. He's never lost at WrestleMania. Just to have him lose to any new and up-and-comer that you choose. Like, I like Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu's a good wrestler. But why diminish Braun Strowman? Because you're just going to have to do it to somebody else like that again. Who's going to be next up? You going to do that to Gunther? You going to do that to Drew McIntyre? You going to do that to Seth Rollins? Are you going to line up Seth Rollins to lose to any new up-and-comer that you want to push next? Like, that should be... You should have to earn that. I mean, like, you should have to get there. I didn't like that. I don't like leaving Naomi, Jade, and Bianca beltless throughout this saga that's getting ready to continue with them, because you're telling me that their art doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Nobody's holding belts, so that the squabble is just going to be the B stuff.
No, but being in the main event of WrestleMania doesn't mean you need a belt. I'd rather be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns than Jey Uso and Gunther.
Cody Rhodes and Cena?
than Jey Uso and Gunther, who fought for a belt, but it was the opening match of Sunday.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't. Well, there's room there. I don't want to be the opening match, but then also the main event has kind of. It's either really dope or it's. Okay. It was kind of like I thought the CM Punk, Seth Rollins triple threat was very good at the end. It was very good at the end. And the rest of it I could have done without.
Best match. I don't know what my best match was, but matches weren't really the part that was the problem for me. More like the spectacle, no celebrity interactions, no special thing.
Yeah, there was nothing
predicted
special.
the Seth Rollins turn.
When they did the Sin City street fight, I told my wife, I was like, you know what I would have did? I would have started this fight
outside
back in the parking lot. Yes.
Hey.
And then we would have ended up in a fucking casino somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. This is Vegas. I know they shot many TV shows and all kind of events inside these casinos. We can make this happen. And we would have ended up in the casino. We would have ended up interrupting the next match with the same fight. Bring the ref out so we could pin them, get them out the way, start the fight over again. Like, that's the kind of stuff I was expecting.
You could have started the match at the beginning of the night. Yep. And then throughout the night between matches, we would see, wait, where are they now?
Thank you. We got the same place. So many.
They did that once in WrestleMania 18, where like you would always cut over to see like Christian holding the Hardcore Championship. He gets smacked in the head with a frying pan by Molly Holly. It was great.
Right, Darius? Right, Molly Holly?
We're good.
My best match was Bianca, Rhea, and Io. That was my favorite match.
When Trick Williams debuts, I'm going to get Darius on. And Darius is going to know who Trick Williams is. It's his debut, so there's no like continuity you got to worry about. It's his first match, and you can talk about how he performed and did he captivate you as a new guy. Trick Williams, okay? Whoop that trick. Rogue says, this was a Monday Night Raw that they called WrestleMania. Yeah, it was
literally
one of the worst WrestleManias, but still entertaining, I would say. Extra Special Professional Negroes 2K. Huh? Oh, ESPN. Oh, I get it.
I didn't get it.
He calls Raymond 2K. Raymond, who told you can have a nickname, Raymond? You are Raymond. We don't even recognize the number. Back me up.
Yeah. Yep.
Someone just joined our stream. It's Darius. Hey, Darius. While he's figuring that out. How's you guys' day, chat? What's going on? Only my friends call me Raymond. Chill. We're not friends?
Yikes.
We're not. We can be acquaintances. I'm just calling you what your screen name is.
That man associate zoned you.
He associate zoned me.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything else happen like that was entertainment wise this week? NBA playoffs? Are we into?
I'm not paying attention.
Jason Tatum's injured. Hope his wrist heals.
How's Jimmy Butler? Is he out? I heard he got injured too.
Bro, I don't even. If I can get this to work to where I can actually come in through here clear, don't get me started on that shit.
It's the tailbone for him, isn't it?
I have no clue.
It's the tailbone. He fell on it.
It's his like. Yeah.
That man bust his ass.
Yeah, he might be out for. That's a contusion. He might be out for a week. But luckily for them, they do have a solid team, and Wardell will take them through the first round, I think.
Oh, yeah. Nah, Steph will get him out of that.
Might actually be better to go to 7 games so that they have more time for Jimmy to heal up. But it's too risky. You don't play with fire. You go in there and you win. That's why Unc always says Lakers in 5. Not 4, 5.
Unc ain't saying nothing until preseason NFL next fall.
I want to hear what the NBA on TNT have to say about that because they're hilarious, especially like on this last run on their way out. Mm-hmm. I've always appreciated them. I love those guys. And I realized at a certain point that they're getting older. Maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was going, these guys are getting older, bro. I need to appreciate every episode. If I can't watch it live, I'll turn on YouTube and they put all the clips there. I got to consume all of these guys, and I usually do. And I love them, and I'm worried for what happens. I don't think EJ is going to move from Turner to whatever they do next season with ESPN. I think he's a big component of it. Now it could be good with Max Kellerman, whoever ESPN puts there. It could be good, but yeah, the grass isn't always greener.
Sure. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. I want to see if they can even inside NBA is I think is crucial to the fan experience for NBA games. At the same time, man, NBA has a general interest problem right now. Like there are more people watching the NFL draft at the moment than watching any NBA playoff game. So they've got to go through a renaissance and quick before they become baseball. And like it's just they've got to do something.
Can you hear me any better?
I can hear you. Say something again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean it's decent. That's good.
Is it coming in more clear than it was
Yeah,
before?
there you go. Yeah, there's the difference. Whatever you just did, keep your finger there, whole stream. Don't move. You gotta stay just like that.
You found the G spot.
I'm trying to fix it to where I'm not like up in the camera like somebody's little kid got somebody's phone. So let me see what I can do. Hold on.
If he knew this reference, I would have made a rock joke. If you smell, but he wouldn't get that. He doesn't smell what the rock's cooking.
No, he does not. I mean, we can start off the Shannon Sharpe topic if you want. And we can have him hop in and contribute when he's ready.
What can we say that like since you last spoke about it on the weekend, there's been some escalations. There's been a lot. Shannon Sharpe, go start it.
And so I kind of still feel, even though we've gotten a lot more information, I still feel the way I feel. I think that the fact that Busby is the lawyer that's bringing this to the table made it skeptical from jump. That's kind of favor Shannon Sharpe. On the other hand, she does seem to have quite a bit of information that at least circumstantially goes along with her story, corroborates her story. Shannon Sharpe's rebuttal, however, is that this is all role play and we do this consensually with each other, which for me is nasty work. Like at that point, I'm not even really focused on the shakedown of it all because it does feel like a shakedown. It's signs of Grace Jabari with the stop-start recording, the blank spots in the recording that's being released. You know what I mean? Like, also, how are we not to know, knowing y'all do what y'all do, that this conversation isn't you just playing out one of your scenes? How am I supposed to differentiate that as an unbiased person? You on the phone talking about, he talking about, when I see you, I'ma choke you. And you like, well, I don't want to be choked, so. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because you're doing what you do to make me mad. And you know I choke when I get mad. Oh, Shannon. I don't want you to assault me. It's like, that sounds like two consensual adults doing nasty stuff. I can't put myself in the place of a black man who gets his rocks off to somebody of another race being like, "Ooh, yeah, put your big black baby in me." Okay, yeah, dog, you deserve what's coming to you. I don't know. And she's 19.
But we're not supposed to know about that. And I feel like I'm in uncharted waters for knowing that that's his interest.
Dog, but that shouldn't be your interest. Like, I understand that it's supposed to be private.
Who are we to say? What is someone's interest? Some people like feet and go on OnlyFans for feet.
No, but that's only weird though. Like that's only weird.
This is racially offensive?
It is a problem when your sexual arousal is tied to being demeaned in the worst way humanly possible.
You might, because I already agree with you, right? I'm really just offering these as
we
like,
gotta
what
get
if,
to the psychology of that, man, because what is happening where people are just willingly signing up to be slaves, to have sex, to get it up, You know, like come on, man. You got a lot of money. Okay. You can get some good therapists. You can do ayahuasca. You can do all kind of stuff. You need to free them demons, dog. You need to free them demons because it's leading you to really just expose yourself with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model. If this was some grown starlet, some model, some actress, some millionaire
They're
that
saying Tracy
ran
Ellis
into,
Ross is a perfect fit for him.
you know, she got the same problem. She got the same issues, and I would not be surprised if we are not here with her within the next 5 years. Knock on wood. I ain't trying to wish it on her, but she's of the same ilk.
But you were saying if you were to find a starlet,
yeah, if you was able to find somebody, it don't even really got to be the same age. Just someone who's grown, someone who doesn't have teen in their age. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of gap in between a teenager and 56. It's a lot of field there. You didn't have to go down to the damn basement to find somebody that you expected to keep your secrets. Some man wants to be Mandingo. Okay. A breeding object.
I kind of agree with what she said.
Your microphone is not on, Darius. Your webcam mic may be picking it up.
Yeah, you had it on. What happened? See, you was messing with stuff. I told you to hold the position. You'd have been good then.
We'll wait.
It's on you whenever you're ready. And I understand that, Pam. I need us to treat it like the unholy business that it is. You know what I mean? You like to be punched a little bit, smacked, scratched. You know, even who am I to draw a line? I'm just being
You drew the line. I was the one taking the who am I to draw the line angle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, I got you. Go ahead, Eric.
That one's better. Or is it back to doing the echo?
When you said, "Can you hear me?" it was great, but now it's not great. But who cares? We can survive. Go.
I care. Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, make better decisions, guys. Make better decisions. Some things are just, normal vices. Maybe you drink too much. Maybe you smoke too much. Maybe you spend too much money. Those are things that are easily correctable. I feel like having a thing that needs you to be in a not even submissive, because that's just normal sex stuff, but a slave-like position. You got to be a slave to get it off.
What is normal sex stuff? Because some people enjoy chokes. Like, that's a part of it. And to me, I think that I don't care. Now I'm giving you guys what I think about sex. I feel it's negative. Like, I don't want to do that.
We're going down a rabbit hole. Let's go. Come with me.
I'm not going down it. You can go down.
Nope, jump in.
I'm looking down. I'm like, oh, look, a rabbit hole. I'm not doing it.
Jump in.
Some people think choking is just part of it, and it's like a normal thing. Yeah, and this just spices it up, and it is a thing. Some people don't. But like the thing where you got to dress up and the bondage and all the things that are more embarrassing, so to say. It's like, yeah, bro, as long as Shannon Sharpe or whoever it is and his partner are like doing it because they enjoy doing it. I know it's embarrassing that I get out, and I get why he would drop $10 million to keep that a secret. It actually makes sense to me, right? Because that could affect his image and affect his $100 million he's got with ESPN after he has the extension. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's not going to get $100 million no matter what happens in this case. It could get dropped tonight. He'll not be getting no $100 million from ESPN anymore. He might not get anything at all, which is why it's important to own your own stuff. Like Nightcap and like Club Shay Shay, you can't be canceled if you own your own stuff. I'm on a tangent, but I'm done my topic. It's important that we don't judge the man for doing his thing.
I can say that this young lady and Busby are trying to shake him down, and I'll be free. I'll be fair and say that. I'm also going to say that this was extremely stupid.
Okay.
And that, you got it?
I think I got it.
All right. I'll finish up. Also say that it's extremely stupid, and that if any kink leads you to expose yourself the way that Shannon Sharpe exposes himself, that's beyond a kink. That's teetering towards addiction.
We just saw the worst of it. Maybe every other phone call could have been a nicer, more acceptable, but this was the one where it was choke.
Yeah, I'm sure. Positive. Or 20 and 22, I wouldn't mess with anyone their age. Yeah, understanding. You right up my. I couldn't fathom.
Once
Like,
you have a daughter who's of
daughter,
that
yeah.
age, you kind of there's a limit on how deep down you can go to dates.
I also just think about like people seeing me walking next to this individual, thinking that that's my daughter. I couldn't put my arm around her in no overt way. I'm not walking holding her hand. Like, what are you doing with this child out in public, feeling comfortable, just walking around like, yeah, that's my lady. Hey, unpack that, man. Unpack that. Figure out why that's okay to you. Cause I'm telling you, yeah. That feels like a trap. That feels like a whole trap. And it was a trap. It literally was a trap. Everything in the world that could have been wrong with that situation was wrong. She's white passing. She's not underage, but she's 19.
Yeah, she's not white.
No, she's not white. She's Hispanic. I don't know where she's from. But her her last name is Zaninga. Gabriella Zaninga.
Seems like there's a lot that Shannon has to needs to address from just in the past few months.
Take it away, Darius.
I mean, you had the scandal of him and his, what was it, his hairstylist or stylist, the guy. You had the deal with the sex tape audio that came out. What was it, a couple months before this?
You know she's suing him, or a woman named Michelle is suing him. The whole
for defamation
thing. Yeah, the lie thing.
And then I said to my mom, because we were having this conversation last night about this whole thing, and I told her, I said, I promise you, the next thing that we're going to see is either going to be a statement from ESPN or a statement from Shannon that says he's stepping away or something like that, or we are quietly parting or something like that. And then what he put out today, it's, what did he say?
I'll be gone to the fall. I'll be gone to football. Come on.
Yeah, no, brother got fired because you saw what Stephen A said. He said he got called in by the head honchos at Disney.
Ouch.
Should I read it, Darius? My statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question is 100% consensual. At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family, responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. That's what he said. Hey, side note, this got nothing to do with anything, but on my homepage, my boy, Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso, was just mentioned in the United States as one of your guys' bodies of like military, and they brought up this guy and they said he was reserving gold for himself. He's trying to protect himself, and what he's doing is making it so that his country, Burkina Faso, can profit off of their own gold reserve.
Off the gold, yeah, absolutely.
He is free. He made school free. This dude made self-determination possible. He booted France and everything, and now they've been trying to kill him, but now he's on Trump's radar. So Ibrahim Traoré, still alive, youngest African leader. He's what Black Panther is, bro. He is a leader who provides inspiration, and very much everyone knows who he is. And he's got to die, and he can never come back. It's very much T'Challa. We talk about that on our channel a lot. I just noticed that when I was going off to find the Shannon Sharpe clip. Back to you, Planet Fanatics. Shannon Sharpe.
I don't think you're muted. Oh yeah, you are muted.
You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me? I was done. I didn't have anything else to say on Shannon. Just other than that he was warned by several other people.
What did your mom say when you talked to her about that? Did she say, yeah, he's going to get fired from ESPN? Did she say, what? Give me your mom's perspective.
I mean, she kind of agreed. She just was like, yeah, probably the next thing is that we're going to hear that he is fired. And if he is, then I'm not really surprised. I thought the thing that shocked me the most from the audio was when he said, I might choke you in public. What is that going to look like? Big black guys choking little black or little white woman. I was like,
That's
why
what made
did
me
you
think it was
say
a sex
that?
thing. Because it's a sex, because they trying to get it up. He's trying to get to the point, Darius. That's the whole point. I think she recorded this man while they was on a session, and he trying to tell the public, like, listen, this is what it was. Like, this is the actual act that I was either paying for or we were engaged with consensually, and she's trying to frame it as abuse. I don't give a shit, because why would you give this to a 19-year-old? This is like trying to explain to the police why your toddler shot your gun. No, cops, listen, y'all don't understand. My damn 5-year-old always playing with my guns, shot through the window. You know what I'm saying? I didn't commit murder. My damn 5-year-old. So let's just swipe our hands of this and let's go away and everything's okay. No.
Okay.
You are the 56-year-old in this situation. Take control of the situation, protect yourself. Otherwise, you're as dumb as any other NBA player that gets caught up like this.
What's important is what he is labeled as. And if he is labeled as a person who harms the opposite sex, that's the career.
Worse. Yes,
that's the damaging thing.
Sure.
And so far, from the jokes I've seen and from the comments, nobody is believing. It helps because she's an OnlyFans model. Like, it helps. You know what I mean? It helps. Like, his reputation. We go, yeah, they probably linked up to do whatever. So I think that's he'll get out of this without being criminally charged. And he's not being criminally charged, right? They're just trying to.
They're not even going over criminal charges. Yeah, that's
also just reputation.
Why the posture from Shannon is so strong, because we're going after money. Yeah. We're going after money, and so at that point, if you feel confident in your position, you don't really, like you said, you don't have to pay a dime. You don't have to capitulate at all. I don't think this is the same as the Jonathan Major situation when their lawyering was so strong, because again, this man's fighting felonies. He's fighting jail time as opposed to fighting your wallet. There's a little bit of different jeopardy there, especially if you're rich.
This Snow Bunny stuff, though.
Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
So I feel that lately, like we've had Snow Bunny crisis issues, but like in succession, the way that we've just had with Cat Williams jokes, with Umar being a popular figure, Jonathan Majors going through it, Shannon Sharpe going through it. I think Jamie Foxx had something also like a couple months ago. Diddy doesn't count. Pretend I didn't say Diddy, my mistake. There's just so many Snow Bunny things. I feel like their youth or people who get rich quick are gonna go, you know what? Snow Bunny thing is a real thing. I am going to stay away from these potentially harmful relationships. I happen to be rich and famous, and there are women of all varieties, particularly dark skin, who would love to be with me. And should we ever have a legal spout, them will not inherently, because of their skin color, have some sort of advantage over me that's going to ruin my career. I think I'm gonna,
or they won't use their cultural ties against you. They won't flip the table on you.
So salute to the guys who had to go down, the guys with the casualties of this Snow Bunny crisis, because lately, bro, yeah. And what's that football player with the Snow Bunny who goes to the club, and the football player in college, that one.
Football. Oh, wait, in college,
there's a college football player out right now who had a girl, and she's got the tattoo on her leg, and then we saw the same girl with the tattoo on her leg when she was dancing on another man. And she's
you're talking about Travis Hunter's girlfriend.
That sounds like it.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot of like date black women. There's a lot of reasons to date black women as a black athlete, as a black celebrity of any coast.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Again, not to speak bad about interracial couples or biracial people. I just think that there's been enough examples of why it can be harmful to do your damn best to at least try to make that match work before you start venturing out. I feel like a lot. Well, let me not say a lot. I feel like a common story you hear for men in that position, or oh well, I tried with one and this, that, and the third happened, or I love this one and she broke my heart, or she didn't want me because I was smart and I didn't dress nice and blah, 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 and then I blew up and Susie was on my back the whole time. And it's like, man, you looked one place, got told no, and you stopped looking and you changed teams. It's not always grass greener on the other side kind of thing. So I hope you're right.
I disagree with the race has nothing to do with it. I think history proves otherwise.
About the reason I brought race or even skin color, because someone said Travis Hunter girl was Hispanic. Just the fact that her skin is lighter comes with believability and comes with potential damage that she can do to you.
Fact, 100% true. It may not be your exact race all the time, but sometimes it's your proximity to whiteness. That's how niche they boiled it down. I'm getting all type of history now. Apparently, Irish people weren't white all the time. Like, so they've taken white people out of white. they've disqualified other white people from being white. So it gets deep.
I learned that also. I watched the whole last YouTube video on that after watching Sinners. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm like, oh, for real? I see. I knew that about Italians, but I didn't know that they did that to the Irish. But I mean, it makes sense. They all came over at the same time, pre-civil rights era. Again, this whole thing of my grandfather came over here and started a business and worked his way up and da 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 da. Like, yeah, because of the Civil Rights Act of 1963. Now, if your grandfather came over here before then, he was in somebody's factory working for slave wages, not building a damn thing. So, what are we talking about next? How did we even get here? What was the topic that led us?
This is on brand, bro. Shannon Sharpe is gonna make us explore these themes. Yes.
Yeah. This is where my mind went. I'm like, big black baby, brother, go get baptized. Go cleanse your soul. What is happening to you? I know he had to have been uncomfortable in the Cat Williams interview. Now he was sweating bullets. He like, man, the man gonna find out I got me a 19-year-old white woman.
The Monique interview.
Let me pour him some more yak. Let me give him some more yak in that cup so he don't come on me. Big Shannon Sharpe.
Like, all he's got to do is say Lakers in 5 and we'll start liking him again. It's very easy. If First Take doesn't work out and the Skip Bayless one didn't work out, all he's got to do is wake up on a morning show, except at 11 o'clock, and he can do his new morning show with who would be the next internet personality? Ishul Speed? Like, he could find somebody. He could find somebody to sit across, and people would rather watch that than watch it on ESPN.
I do think he's running out. If we go back a year and look at his guest, and then now we've come all the way down to what was his last interview? Who was up there last? Was it Jess?
Damon Wayans.
That's a good one. Actually, I respect Damon Wayans a lot. Man, the hell with CBS and Viacom. Big middle finger to them. Papa's House canceled after one season.
Right.
Damn.
Well, wait, is it related to viewership though? Why are we mad at CBS?
I don't know. I'm mad because they canceled it. That's why I'm mad at CBS. I don't know if it's legitimate or not. I don't care. They canceled it.
Fine, sure. I think we should check to see if it's legitimate or not.
I don't give a shit. It ain't enough of us out here to be making legitimate cuts. I don't think the show was bad, but I don't know how many people are watching it though. I can't speak to the viability.
But Damon Wayans was a guest, and I think Shannon Sharpe could have repeat guests. Why not? 52 weeks, right? So you can find 52 guests, and like maybe what John Cena said 2 years ago, maybe he can interview John Cena again with a brand new, hey, it's your retirement run in wrestling, your final year, John. Talk to us about it. And I think he can do John Cena
back. Another Cat Williams interview would definitely do it to kick off the year or something like that. That would be dope.
It has to be the beginning of January. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Do it at the same time. Be like, hey, we was here last year, Cat. We was here last year. Yep. And a lot of things have happened, Shannon. And a lot of things have happened. That conversation would go nuts. What did I tell you? You have an unnatural allegiance to losing.
Why people don't lose their superheroes?
Good one. Good one. Cat is good for the internet engagement, man. I think he either has a very good team or he actually has a few burners out here and he's actually plugged in because he finds relevant topics for us normal people to connect to his stand-ups.
I want him, Shay, to win his case, and then he can sit down with majors because I don't want all birds of a feather flock together. But I think he would do a great Shannon Sharpe, just like he did a great one with Cam Newton.
I think people would look at it as biased now that he has all this going on now. Pre this, I think it would have been a great interview. It's kind of messy now. It's messy now. He needs to be. I didn't even really like him going on Cam Newton because I don't think Cam is going to ask the right questions. I think he needs to continue to climb that media ladder until he can get back on Good Morning America, and it has nothing to do with Grace Jabari.
Stephanie, Cat would be making punchlines out of Shannon Sharpe for the entire runtime.
Yes, it would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I told you, an unnatural allegiance to losers.
Jonathan need to let Shannon get the heat so people forget about his stuff. I think we all agree with that. But what does Jonathan Majors have to promote anymore? Like, his movie made only $1 million. At least he's married to Megan Good. Like, I can't, he's not doing too poorly. That's got to be fun. Imagine having the worst day of your life, but your wife is Megan Good. So
he'll be back. I don't think it was the worst day of his life. First of all, he got his money. He got his money. I don't think he was getting any back end points on Merciless. I don't think they would have promised that to him. So he's good. He'll be all right.
He should be fine.
Do a
movie with Tyler Perry. Do a movie with people who will hire you. Michael B. Jordan said he'll work with you again, and he's got pull. So if Creed 4 happens, he's got that.
Shannon and Dr. Umar interview would be worse than the Cat Williams interview. You talk about, because Dr. Umar is literally going to try to preach to this man for an hour. My brother, you know what your problem is. You've been snow bunny twice last year. If you don't understand now, you'll never understand, my brother. Stop playing in snow. My brother, stop playing in snow. You're allergic to snow. Leave it alone, my brother. Put a coat on.
It's not time to be building snowmen. It's time to build the school.
Don't fund the snow bunnies, my brother. Fund the school. Don't fund the snow bunnies, my brother. Fund the school. One more time. Don't fund the snow bunnies, my brother. Fund the school. Donations, gifts, and donations.
From the last time he spoke on the school, he was going about how, just one more, it'll be the beginning of the school year, 2025. I'll have everything done by then, or he plans to, because the physical building exists. The HVAC is situated. I think the floors needed to be redone. Whatever the reason was, September of this school year, the school doors should open based on how he pushed it.
Listen, I figured it out. I've cracked the code.
There's nothing to say.
No. There is. Listen,
wait for that to fail, then I'll give you the floor. But wait for that to fail.
No, listen, it's all connected. Listen, chill. Just I found the secret. Like, this is like some real True Detective type shit. We will get kids in Dr. Umar's school at the same time that Elon Musk solves autonomous driving, and also Rihanna's next album drops, and George R.R. Martin finishes The Winds of Winter. They will all simultaneously happen at one moment, one quintessential moment. Just wait on it. It'll all happen. We will all be happy.
But somehow Grand Theft Auto 6 won't be out.
No, it won't be.
Thank you, chat, for being here. Remember to hit thumbs up, man. We do this every Thursday for your entertainment and for Super Chats.
Sure. Tony Robinson. Don't fund the snow bunnies, my brother. Just smash in private. I mean, you would think he has some sense. But I mean, when you be in that wild, nothing else matters. Not your livelihood, not your reputation, your dignity, your GD dignity.
Umar is more than just the snow bunny stuff. He actually says some smart things a lot of times.
He also says a lot of inaccurate shit. He also says a lot of things that aren't very well thought out. He also says a lot of things for shock value. It's all kind of mixed up in there, like Kanye. You got to take the good with the bad. You're going to have to take a couple Snow Bunny nevers with the, hey, we need to consolidate the black dollar. You're going to have to take some black people don't need reparations with some, hey, black fathers, raise your sons to be men. There's good and there's nonsensical.
Yes, but Chill's position is that Kanye has a mental
yeah. Outside
issue.
of the mental stuff. Outside of the mental problems with Kanye, I guess.
You don't know what mental problems are. I'm not going to use the word mental illness with you guys because you guys think it's something that it's not. A person is neurologically flawed and incapable of certain.
I think that mental issue is.
There's a little bit of a lag, but I was beginning to say, when the person is neurologically flawed and incapable of executing basic conversational or basic courtesies, basic, like the basics, he's incapable of that stuff. That is Kanye West. So yeah, he's good at making music, but he is a person who's chemically imbalanced and lacking normal. He's lacking it. So whatever he says and does, I'm going, oh, there's Kanye. I hope the best for this guy. And I know I'm not going to take anything he's saying seriously because he's having his fit. Just because he can excel at fashion designing doesn't mean that that's not true. That this guy is a person who's going to, like when he goes on his Twitter rants and he doesn't have a filter when it comes to his attention grabbing tactics. He is a mentally ill person. And Raymond says something I agree with. Chill, mental illness is a spectrum. I know. I agree.
So, and I know that you're doing this in an attempt to protect Kanye.
Huh?
Do you see how your acceptance of any and everything he does takes his agency away? Like, you're not making him an adult individual who's deserving of being protected by saying everything he does is excused by his mental illness. People who take care of people with mental illnesses don't excuse all of their behavior. You
him
can't
being an adult.
You can't wash.
Yes, I can. That's what the
decision making away. First of all,
that is exactly what I can wash away.
I gave you the floor. I just want to be able to get my point out.
Good point.
You guys, or you, you're saying that it's, first of all, nobody on this panel is a doctor. No one here is able to diagnose Kanye West from our chairs here, right? Like, we're just not. We don't know what that man got. We can theorize. We can say that he's unstable. I think we'll all agree to say that he's not all together, but we don't know what it is, and we don't know what degree of control he has. We have no fucking clue. The only thing that we know is that at one point, this man seemed very capable of conducting himself like a normal human and was still controversial. And now we've crossed the threshold where it's beyond even our wildest dreams back then. So it's hard just to completely absolve everything we've seen on the back of what is the diagnosis? What is the problem? We can't just say he's mentally ill. Mentally ill could be autism. Mentally ill could be schizophrenia. Mentally ill could be bipolar disorder. It could be any of those things. It's not enough just to say, I could be mentally ill because I'm depressed. Anybody could be mentally ill. That is not an excuse for poor behavior. It's not an excuse for destructive behavior. It's not an excuse for racism. It's not an excuse for bigotry. Like, can we at least get to the point where we actually know what's wrong with this man before we just start saying, he's a sick individual, don't worry about him? No, he has responsibility for himself. He has enough agency to live life like an adult. So then why is he not responsible for his actions?
I didn't say mentally ill.
That is why
I said I'm going to stop using mentally ill. Hold on, Darius. I said chemically imbalanced. I said neurologically flawed. I use other ways.
How do you know that, though? Well, how do you know he's chemically imbalanced? Like, are you looking at his blood reports or something? How do we know that? What if he's
I can watch his behaviors. I can see him and Harvey Dent. Wait, I am going to answer this question completely before you cut to commercial. And like, he acts in a way that a sound fit person would have the situational awareness to know, dog, you look kind of crazy right now. I know he's off. Go ahead, Darius.
I was just going to say that's why I didn't agree with, even though I really respect Damon Wayans as well. I didn't agree with. He made the comment and said, when you see a homeless guy on the side of the street talking to himself, you don't say, "Oh, that guy's crazy." You say, "Well, let's pull him in." And I disagree with that. I think to use Kanye in that situation is wrong, at least, because, like Tina said, he's not a 3-year-old. He is very cognizant of the things that he is saying. I disagree. I disagree.
He's not a 3-year-old. Means his brain at 3. The problem with a 3-year-old, what exists is they have not learned. They can't control their emotion. They cry. They get mad. And they may punch you. They're flawed. They're still learning, and hopefully they'll develop into a full, brain. Kanye West, like a 3-year-old, doesn't have the restraints, doesn't have the capabilities, So that's what I'm saying, and I don't care if I'm not a doctor. I'm saying it.
I mean, but just that's fine because you're allowed to have an opinion. But it's an opinion. It's not a statement that you can kind of like push people back or say no, definitively that man is ill. Well,
I'm not waiting for him to die to see the CT scan. I know the signs are very, very there.
I think we've gotten very comfortable with diagnosing people virtually. I think we've gotten so into these discussions about mental health and the spectrum and all of these other terms that we kind of toss around that we've gotten very comfortable with being able to diagnose people from our screens. That's not our place, number one. It's also not our practice. It is not our duty. We don't know what we're doing or what we're looking at to say that someone is either in control or out of control. And again, to go back to my original point, for you to say that people who are on that spectrum are without control, you are doing them more harm than the people who are saying that they need to be held account. You are taking their control away from them. They are not totally without decision-making skills. They are not totally without any type of discernment, right? It depends on where you're at. Yeah, it depends on where you're at.
Yeah. He's not totally out of control. Maybe we can help. Maybe we can get him to a good place.
Now that I agree with. He most certainly needs help. He most certainly needs somebody around him who doesn't fold to his antics or to his outbursts, who has his well-being above being paid by him. Everybody's more worried about casting.
That also starts with Kanye.
That's true. That's true. It's the people you put around you.
Because from my understanding, Kim, her mother, I mean, she really at one point, I'm not going to say she doesn't love him anymore, because, but when they were together, just from what I watched on the show, the most recent episode, she's talked about the help that they've tried to get for him, not just from her perspective, but from her mom's perspective, from other family members' perspectives, and every time he ran away from it. So he's got to want to make a change. And I completely agree on the whole kids thing that Tina said as well.
That we can't root for him to have his kids.
Yeah.
See, you gotta make a change.
The comments made about your baby mama talking about, oh, you want to see a sex tape part 2 and this tape, this part we're at, and like, that's crazy. No.
Well,
it is crazy.
That ain't. I mean, yes, it's crazy, but I'm more concerned with whether
when it comes. I know, but I'm talking about when it comes to you talking about wanting your kids and you being a good influence for your kids and things like that. You talking about their mother publicly like that? I don't think that that's a good.
Yeah, it's not good. He's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's not the best thing. It's not something that you want to have on record for your kids to see. Again, I would be more worried about their immediate safety with Kanye because he's unpredictable, because we see him doing wild things in public, like his relationship with Kim is going to be what it's going to be for however long until these kids are grown. And I don't think that in itself should dictate whether or not he should be able to see his children, whether or not they should be able to move his children with other people in the family without him knowing. That kind of stuff, I think, if we flip the dynamics and knew the man was taking the daughters, the sons away from a manic woman, we would all see where that was overboard and probably not the best interest of anybody involved. But now if you change the dynamic and say that, oh, well, now she's dangerous. When she's around the kids, we don't know what she's going to do. She might hop on a jet and go to Cambodia and never fucking come back. Then now, how can I say, yeah, no, you should have your kids? That's the problem for me, because I don't know if Kanye gonna hop on a plane and never come back with them kids. Which, if you're saying that that's what they're doing to you, kidnapping your kids and keeping them from you, you wouldn't be any more right to do that to her. Mm-hmm. So it's tough, man. Do I want him to be with his kids? I think him being around real family, like blood, is the best thing for him. I've never seen Kanye act more normal than when he's around his kids. But I don't know right now. I have no clue.
Almost like the brain releases a hormone or a chemical that soothes you and it provides. It's almost like when he's with his family and with his kids, he can be a parent, and it's like it's all chemical. It's almost like that.
I mean, sure, chill. It doesn't make you a doctor. It just doesn't make you capable of diagnosing him from your room. But you may be right.
Well, he better come back home then. If you're talking about, I mean, being around family, chilling out, he better come on back home and lay low for a long time.
That's that decision-making process, though, that we're talking about. It's up to him to get the vultures away from him and bring actual people in. It's still his control. They're not just going to go away and stop taking their checks.
Yep.
Impromptu Kanye West discussion, but I think it's been boiling for like the last few times we brought him up.
I've been trying not to talk about this man for the longest. I've been trying my best. It's my hero, y'all. I cannot take this. It actually hurts to watch.
He's your hero, but you got a bobblehead the same way Darius got a Michael Jackson bobblehead down there?
I do not have a Kanye West bobblehead.
Is it a Funko Pop or a bobblehead? What is it?
It's a Funko.
Funko, sorry. Looking back at that flashing lights video in perspective. I'd say to hell with them kids. I'm rich. I'll go make some more and see the other ones when they're
understand it. Tripping tonight, y'all. He off that yak. He buzzing, y'all. Forgive him. Kardashians are witches anyway. No, I do think there is something genuinely fucked up about that family, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But he out of all the people, famous individuals that are on the My Family tree, he is one that, I mean, if he wanted to, he's still got his whole grandfather side of the family that's in Spencer that he can just go home, lay low, wrap his arm around them. They can wrap their arms. I don't even know if they talk to that man.
They should. Your family, help him out. He's in a crisis. And I know everyone's got that family member, and I know that sometimes you try, and then you go, fine, I'm hands off. I did everything I wanted to do, and I'm not willing to continue. You know, I'm bored, I'm not bored, but I'm fed up and I'm over it. I know. His other family members, the one on Spencer, like you're talking about, I hope that they are still in contact and they're like that last resort. I think.
What the fuck is Dave Chappelle doing? Like every time I hear Dave Chappelle talk about Kanye, it's like, oh, Kanye's crazy. Yeah, but man, he's all right. And no, he's not all right. He's not okay.
Well, Dave Chappelle's doing the right thing because Dave Chappelle was not on the list that Kanye said of everyone who screwed him. Jay-Z was. And I think Jay-Z's doing him a favor by not responding to all the nonsense. I think that's him going and Jay-Z's going, I understand that this guy's flawed. Now saying, it's up to you. You're the one who's got to check yourself in because the Kardashian family did try to help you out. That's like he's incapable of making that correct decision to seek help. So it really is like You can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm saying yes, he can have his cake and eat it too. That it is that bad.
No, that means he's destined for doom. If he is incapable of making a correct decision, then he's just destined for doom. Then he's unhelpable. Then you should literally forget
until the day he is. Until the day he does decide.
No,
I'm going to check in.
Then that would disprove your
because he could have always done it.
Yeah, then he could have always done it.
That's not how it works.
If he just pops up out of nowhere and is capable, that means he was never incapable. Incapable means you cannot do. It means no matter how hard you try or work or practice, you cannot do it.
He is currently incapable of doing it. He is currently, as of right now, not able to understand.
He can either do it or he can't.
It's a cop out, but that's what mental health illnesses are, though. They are this gray area of, come on, chill. You can't have it both ways. He can have it three ways.
No, first of all mental illnesses are not the same. You
the one that Kanye West is
lack of control to every mental illness on the spectrum, and it's not the case. Every person who has a mental illness is not able to control themselves or decide or make decisions for themselves.
The specific illness that Kanye West is experiencing, the flaws, who knows what it is, but the problems that he has, the specific problems that he's got, give me the
impression that he can't control them. Okay, I mean, I guess I'm just not there, and the reason why I'm not there is because we've seen a different version.
I can give you one.
Go ahead, Darius.
I mean, there's a literal video of Kanye West. It was when he was going around saying the anti-Semitic shit about Jewish individuals, and he said something about a Jewish doctor, and there was an interview where I think he was talking to TMZ. I don't know who he was talking to, but they told him he was like, he said something like da 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 da. There's a Jewish doctor. I'm not supposed to say his name. Then he took a long pause with a smile on his face and said the doctor's name. So he's very aware of what he's doing. Like, it's not like,
no, that's not aware.
What do you mean? He said, I'm not supposed to say his name, crossed his arms, smiled, put his hands together, and said the doctor's name.
So he went against his better judgment.
Okay.
I think, again, where is the line between just making bad decisions or being incapable of making good ones? Like, where
the line is next to Kanye West.
The line there? No. That in itself is a cop out, bro. Like, you are giving him the excuse of not being able to do better, and that means he's never going to be better. If he doesn't have the ability to be better, he will never be better. He has the ability. You see it in him. You want him to be better. He is just not doing it.
Okay.
KKK Kanye is gone. Well.
Chill, if he willingly said his name knowing he wasn't supposed to and smiled jokingly, he knew what he was doing and was fully sane in that moment. No, he knew what he was doing. You're right. Now, how could someone who knows what he's doing still go ahead and say the names? Because he has no control, or he went against his better judgment.
But chill, Darius. Why did he pull up the video? Why did he pause, cross his arms, smile, and then say the doctor's name?
Hears voices in his head, and then the voices in his head said, say it, and he went and said it.
No.
He's flawed.
All right. Well,
he could be narcissist, like She Drives Me suggests. He can be a lot of things. He could be really rich in his and the dude is also
cannot be a narcissist and not have control. That is the entire basis of being a narcissist, is control. If he's not in control, he can't be a narcissist.
Then he's not a narcissist. He's something that has all the traits of
here's another one, Chill.
Minus the control. What?
Because again, this all kind of started around the time his mother passed. But for me, what I really noticed a lot of the stuff when he got in the argument with Van, and Van put him in his place on TMZ, when he said that slavery was a choice. Where was his mind in?
That's my biggest problem with it, is like, there are legitimate, just like we were just talking about with Umar, there are jewels. There are things that he says that are not completely unfounded, that are said by other people with official positions, and it gets posted on cable television. But because he says all of this other bullshit about Beyonce's kids, about Kim, back and forth with Ray J and Pete Davidson and any other fuckboy who will talk to you on the internet, that is why no one has any time for him.
And the thing that he said about the Carters, when Pop said that he commends the Beyonce and Jay-Z for not responding to him when he said what they said, they're never going to stoop down to that level and say anything to that man. They're going to hit him with a lawsuit and then move on, if they even want to address it in that way. But the shit that he said about their kids and the things that he has said about Jay-Z, somebody that you have worked with and had a partnership with, you've considered your brother and things like that, you can, to me, it really took a level when he brought the kids into it. Say what you want about Jay-Z, sure, that's a grown-ass man. But when you bring in their kids who they work so damn hard themselves to protect from the media, we barely even see those damn twins. And for you to go out there and say what you said, out of line.
Star Wars.
What's going on with
Star Wars Celebration was this past weekend.
Yeah, pay up. Give me my dollar. Give me my dollar. Where was the Ray announcement? Pay me my money, my 4 quarters, so I can go to the dollar store and cop something with my money. Money. He's going to pay me my money.
I am going to concede.
His Cash App is Marcus too raw.
I'm definitely going to admit when I was wrong. That does not mean that she's not going to show up at any point in the future.
It's a civil
that just
war
means
going
she was
on
not a
right
celebration.
now. Civil war going on, y'all. I'm telling you. I like that people were actually excited about what the announcements were at Star Wars Celebrations, because this was a definitive pump fake. I mean, they acted like they was gonna show you something and toss the ball to their feet. But I like that everybody's positive about Maul and about
I thought
the animated space is dope.
Yeah, I thought they shockingly, this was a very good celebration. I thought they came with news that we kind of knew about already, but I thought it was a very good move not to bring Daisy out. I don't know if she was busy. I don't know if they just don't want to anymore. I don't know what it is, but I thought it was a very good move on them not to bring her out. I thought it was a very good move on bringing Hayden in. The more Hayden, the better. Let's stop trying to put Daisy in this place that Hayden has already paved. So I thought the shit with Maul, that was probably the dopest thing. I hate the name of Levy's film, but I like Levy.
Apparently, nobody knew that was going to happen. Nobody knew that the Levy film was actually going to get announced. Kathleen, actually, she was there, and she was answering questions about her pending retirement, where she says, "Oh, I'm not retiring. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere." And then 5 days later, there was another article about her leaving in August. There's an internal fight going on, y'all. She's struggling for her footing in Lucasfilm. There is a large enough contingency that wants her out, and they're fighting. And that's why we didn't see Daisy Ridley at Star Wars Celebration. That's why we got the highlights being mostly stuff that we already knew about, Ahsoka Season 2, and then a few things that we didn't know about, like the Vader series and the Maul series. Or not the Vader series, Anakin being involved in Ahsoka Season 2. Which, I mean, if you've been paying attention to Scoops, you probably already knew that.
Yeah.
I think they're fighting.
They did a very good job, I thought, this year. Revenge of the Sith is in theaters as of today for the 20th anniversary. I also thought that the stuff that Dave said for Ahsoka season 2 kind of just
Balin?
lines up with all of the rumors that we've heard for Ahsoka season 2. So I'm really pumped for it. I'm really pumped for it. I think 2026 is going to be a really good year for Star Wars.
Did you see his comments on Balin Skull?
Boy, did I.
I liked it.
I had to go live.
Duh.
I just maybe my brain. Well, you know, somebody said this to me one day, and it made me mad before. But like, maybe my brain just works differently. I took it as an insult, but maybe it does, because when I see them march out Dave Filoni out there for a 10-minute conversation, and how easily he parries his way through that statement and does it in a respectful way, and everybody leaves it feeling like they're doing right by Ray Stevenson, and how that same company, even though it's different studios, how that same company did the complete inverse with an infinitely more popular, more profitable character and IP, and just allowed it to be shelved. I can't. It's still, I understand why, and I get it. We black, we don't get shit. Back of the line, niggas. I understand, but like, y'all like money. You're money hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And this absolutely was a money move, as much as it was an emotional one, as much as it was an honorable one. The arc for Balin Skull is one of the most interesting things that people pulled from Ahsoka season 1. Of course, they're going to want to see it followed up on season 2. So it just makes sense. How does it make sense for them and not for Black Panther?
Well, for those who are in the out of the know, let's show you what Star Wars Celebration brought us with Dave Filoni and Ray Stevenson's recast with Rory McCann.
Ray was the most beautiful person on screen and off. He was wonderful to all of us. However big a loss you think it is, it's bigger. And it was a challenge for me to even consider continuing for a while. But I have a great support group with John and Rosario. And I found a way, and I had Ray in my head. And grateful for all the conversations with him about Balin. So I understood what to do.
Wow.
It just took a while to get
wow.
there.
You don't think there was
But I'm very
conversations with
confident now.
Chadwick in Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige's head that he could have been, I know what he would want to do.
That Ray would be happy with the direction that we've chosen. Spoke to his family about it because they were so important to Ray every day that we were working. And so we've continued because the character was meant to be important. He's meant to be the parallel to Ahsoka in every way. If there's a light, there's a dark, and Balin is representing a different journey for a Jedi that's lost his way. As much as you represent one that's kind of walked away from the Order, so did he. And that parallel is something that must continue. And yeah, I just kept hearing Ray, and I followed that, and it led us to the idea of bringing someone else in to play the part. In essence, because Ray had performed it so iconically, there's a blueprint for what this character should be. And then I talked with.
Oh, it's like if I just.
The portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and
They both used the word iconic in that, didn't they? Go ahead, Marcus.
If I just took, and it was probably good that you played that. Only thing you would have to do is switch out the name Balin for T'Challa, switch out Star Wars or Ahsoka season 2 for Black Panther, and we literally could be talking about the same situations. It was meant to be popular. Let Ryan Coogler tell it. T'Challa was supposed to have a whole guy's trip summer vacation with dad arc in Black Panther 3, and he was supposed to lead the Avengers, right? And he had this whole, like. Oh, also, Balin Skull is the polar opposite, or the match to Balin Skull, right? Who, if they were always planning on doing Dr. Doom, which is what they're pitching us now, right? Always going to be doing Dr. Doom. Who, if not Reed Richards, if not a speeded Reed Richards, an expedited Reed Richards, when we only have one film to go off of, would have best fit from the existing MCU as a counterpart to Dr. Doom.
T'Challa.
Everything he's saying about Balin Skull and his position in Lucasfilm, in Ahsoka, could be applied to T'Challa. Every single goddamn thing he said. Where's the art going? How important is the character? What did the guy who played the character think? This is Dave fucking Filoni. Okay, I love Dave. I'm not looking at him to direct my next Hollywood flick, my next Hollywood blockbuster. So anybody who I am, I'm expecting them to at least be able to do this, at least be able to be the adult in the room and come to a solid conclusion like this. Not say everything he said and do the exact opposite.
He's got more to say.
Print for what this character should be. And then I talked with John, and John and I decided that we just needed to find the right person that would not just understand the character, but also understand a bit of what Ray brought to it as well. It's something imperceptible, something just in the eyes, really, to be honest. And I think we both felt very fortunate that things pointed towards, and we met Rory McCann. And so Rory will be taking over the role of Balin.
Immediate applause. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, they'll be so mad. The actor will get killed. They're going to kill the actor. They're going to kill him.
And just so you guys know, and John knows too, speaking to Rory, and he spoke with Rosario, you know, he takes it very seriously. He takes it very to heart.
They don't
Rory's
need that.
a big man with a big heart, and he has such respect for Ray and what Ray brought to this, that I know his whole focus is not letting Ray down.
Damson Idris will not let Chadwick Boseman down.
And not letting you guys down. So he really feels it. So you'll love him. And we love him now. And I love what he's taking on because it's a big deal. So the force is with him. And I know you guys will be too. So thank you.
That's the second time they clapped. The first time they clapped, he didn't even pause for them to clap or say something towards it. They were just like, yeah, new actor, yeah. Comic-Con can go the same way. What was your scoop again about Comic-Con, Darius? I don't want to misquote it, but you said they will announce the new actor if it's not spoiled?
That's what they said. That they would announce the new actor if the trades don't get to it first. But
well, the trades
the Direct
are their
just put out some weird article a few days ago talking about it's the sun. Nothing in that article was anything like, it didn't shed any new light. There was no new scoop. There was nothing new in that article. That I don't know if it was a slow day for the Direct, but there was nothing in that article new.
They did it again today, and they put a picture of Shuri as the Black Panther, and it said these are the guaranteed appearances of Black Panther. And then they were talking about Eyes of Wakanda in their article. So it definitely feels like, you know, I don't know if the MCU Direct are shill media. I didn't know that they were, but it feels like there's an effort now to condition the audience into thinking that Toussaint is T'Challa, or it's about the Black Panther, or putting out Shuri.
No one's going to move on from the conversation, regardless of if they recast him
real.
or not. And if it does come to light that they do not recast him, I know, chill, but I'm going to address it anyway. If it does come to light that they do not recast him, that just furthers the conversation. So anytime that this conversation comes up, you seem to always have something to say about this. I would check out during these moments, and if you would like to continue on being a viewer, maybe come back, but I don't understand why you even comment on these moments.
Yeah, man. A lot of these guys who are not welcome and are routinely talked down by the host, which would be me, and today it's by Darius. Kevin Davis continues to come on here with that little Kevin Davis screen name with little comments. You're unwelcome in this zone. Leave. Or you probably are some sort of bot account, someone who's paid to agitate, someone who's just having fun. Maybe you could be a 14-year-old going like, oh, they get really mad when I say this. Who knows what Kevin Davis is? I just don't take him seriously. MCU Direct, by the way. Yeah, so that guy, they're the same with figure drawing. MCU Direct is posting often, and every time they do, I am going to go and put something underneath there. And thanks to my verified account, sometimes it gets priority, and maybe you guys can like it, and it can be the counter to whatever programming they're trying to do with the whole Toussaint or Shuri or every other thing. Reminder, Shuri is a trap, everyone. It's a trap for you guys to say something, for them to go, oh, you just don't like women. So watch what you say.
Women.
Look out, look
Hate
like
black women.
word your things very particularly, and talk about the absence of T'Challa more than you talk about they gave the intelligence to the girl. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is easy for them to just use your words against you. Star Wars Celebration, however, aside from the Dave Filoni stuff, there was the Maul animated show, which to me was a good little surprise. And from what I hear, it was always in the works, and it's already finished and produced, right? So that's going to be nice to know that we have a Maul show featuring Darth Talon, featuring a female protagonist or antagonist, whatever you call evil people when they're the main character. We've got that. That's going to be, that's all right. All right, we got a future, basically. We have a villain. Good. She'll be older by the time we get to the era of 7, 8, and 9. It was a good celebration because my expectations were low, but it wasn't a good celebration. I'm not going as far as the way Darius praised this comic.
That was my point.
Huh.
I felt like they held back a lot and they still appeased people.
Yeah.
So that they did that without defining a real future for Lucasfilm. And that was the best case scenario for me, that it was decent enough that it felt like they posted some projects that I'm going to watch. Ahsoka season 2, Maul. And then
Andor?
No. And then they didn't push the agenda driven future that I have been crying out against for a long time. So that feels like a win of some sorts. The fact that she didn't get to have Charmaine out there, that she didn't bring out Daisy, that there was no talk of Taika's movie, and those are wins. Those are wins, y'all. like the fact that we are not hearing about those projects is a good thing. And so whoever is inside of Lucasfilm fighting the good fight, please keep fighting, because clearly you are affecting something. Clearly you're affecting something. A year ago, we was talking about the next 5 movies being all included Rey because she's our only option. And now all of a sudden we can come to Star Wars Celebration and highlight an animated film. Okay, so yeah, maybe there has been a slight change of direction.
Good point by Johnny. They pulled back because of D23. And D23 is first week of September, roughly.
We'll see. We shall see. But then again, that's supposed to be a month before Kathleen Kennedy is leaving. So do we think she's going to pop out in September and be like, here's all 5 Rey movies, and then bounce in August? Like, if she gets to do that, she's definitely not going anywhere in August.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think what they're doing right now because with what you're doing with Darth Maul's series, you're pulling in talent. So you're pulling in another Legends figure. I don't know if it's Dave. I don't know if it's John. I don't know if it's the powers that be. But they are wising up and finally realizing that, hey, instead of creating all these dumbass characters that no one fucking likes,
nobody gives
we have a catalog of characters that we can choose from that are heavily loved.
Man.
And so whatever. So I think that, as you getting Talon and Maul, and then you're supposedly getting Abeloth and Ahsoka.
Abeloth, yeah.
Seems like Legends is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know why they were so dead set on pushing shit that nobody wanted to see, but yeah, let's hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that Tales of the Underworld will be good May 4th as well.
Yeah, it'll be good, but it's 30 minutes of content. How short is it going to be altogether?
Yeah, but see, when you got Tales of the Jedi,
Cad Bane, right? Is that the one that's coming out with Cad Bane?
Yeah, the one with Cad Bane and the one with Asajj.
Gotcha.
But Tales of the Jedi, though, was extremely impactful. That completely gives you that perspective to Dooku, where he was that moment that he heard Qui-Gon died. We saw him actually go in and erase archives of Kamino from the Jedi archives. We saw him meeting with Dooku and all that. So that actually really added a lot of stuff to his overall arc.
Yo, Dave can sneak in
So if
these
they can do that
important
same
things in
thing-
animation. Yeah.
I think animation is the
Make
way
it
to go
matter.
for Star Wars. I don't think it needs to be the thing in theaters for Star Wars. I think live action needs to be in theaters for Star Wars, but animation, I wouldn't mind a show being told in animation.
I think it's safe. I think
do a
it
lot
gives
more.
them a chance to do something that's popular that kind of starts earning the audience back while they figure out their future direction. I would much rather them do stuff like this than feed us crap until we hit critical mass and they're about to sell the damn studio. Give us something that's semi-enjoyable, something that can hold us over until you figure out how to get Kathleen out of her fucking C-suite office.
Or we can work with Kathleen Kennedy and give her exactly the
Not
things.
possible. Not
No.
possible. You
Hold
leave
up.
this. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Go
You
ahead.
tell me if this is possible or not. This is Ron Howard's daughter. Now pay attention to what she said. This came after
Right,
Star Wars
Dallas.
Celebration, and you will love this. So maybe this is up her wheelhouse of Kathleen Palpatine.
Let's
You
see.
just- let's not spoil it, guys.
Sam Jackson has been incredibly
I was going
supportive
to say this.
and has told me many times that he would act in something that I directed, which has been
Amazing.
I'm not worthy, basically. and then I went straight to Dave Filoni and I was like, so let's just talk about Mace Windu and where
Oh
he
my
is.
God.
Can we just talk about this? Because is he dead? Is he?
He said on this very stage he wants back in. Mace Windu still has one arm running around the galaxy,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
You also have some great actors in the family.
That was the so one notable thing that before I forget is that she said I spoke to Dave Filoni. There are camps in Lucasfilm, and it feels like she's on the camp that isn't
good.
where
That's
I
good.
talked right to Kathleen Kennedy. And you know, it's a woman leading, it's a diversity. You know, they love those of colors, right? So I think that why not? Mace Windu, everyone will like it. She's not gonna do. She's like a woman directed movie.
See, I trust Bryce.
Yeah.
I trust her because like you said, the camps at Lucasfilm.
She's in the.
She
Filoni
went to
camp.
Dave because if you go to that sit down where they were all sitting down at that table talking about their different episodes that they directed, her episode that she talked about and Dave's episode that they talked about, it's like they were in sync on their knowledge of Star Wars. She talked about her father's love for Star Wars and stuff like that. I trust Bryce when it comes to Star Wars. She's also directed episodes of The Bad Batch.
Hey, Brother Stark and Johnny Washington acting the hell up. That is a nickname I've never seen for that woman, but now y'all about to have me fucking looking for Bryce Dallas Howard pictures. Like, hold on. You sure? Let me see.
Is that door closed?
Man, there you go, Tony Robinson. Is that what they call her? Big booty Bryce Howard? Bryce Dallas Howard? Big booty Bryce? Never mind. Big booty Bryce.
She's 1/16th like Haley Steinfeld. It's okay.
I don't have time for that. Y'all killing me with this Haley Steinfeld black stuff. You're fucking me up.
I'm not gonna detour too long, but I'll say, well, why didn't she bring it up in the other movies he's promoting? It was literally not relevant. It's relevant for this movie. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would love to see a return of Mace Windu, but I don't
She's
want it to
still
be
the best
meaningless.
part of that whole thing.
I want it to be something.
Sorry.
We talking about Jurassic World too?
No, I'm talking about Haley.
Oh, and Sinners. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, still got to see the movie. Don't spoil it for me. What the hell are we talking about? I
Mace
was just
Windu?
rambling now.
Or Celebration.
Yeah, Mace Windu. I want it to be something meaningful. So, like, I would like to see it on the big screen, but then I don't know what Bryce Dallas Howard is going to be doing in terms of a movie. So, it's kind of tough. And she seems to be the one person who's actually motivated to get it done, who talks publicly about it. So, if it has to happen in a TV show, an episode of Ahsoka or episode of Mando, that wouldn't be terrible, but I would want it to be something that, like, lasts multiple episodes.
That's a movie, bro. That's something that he can show up and appear at the ending of a TV show, a surprise appearance at the ending of a movie. But you can promote and gross $1 billion with Mace Windu. The international audience already don't care. China didn't show up for Rise of Skywalker, so you don't have to worry about, oh, we got Sam Jackson, they're not going to come. They weren't
If they
coming.
made
in.
a Star Wars movie in earnest about what happened to Mace Windu after he falls out of that window fighting Palpatine, oh man, easy Billy. Easy Billy. If they make it in earnest with a good director and it feels like real Star Wars, easy billion. Easy.
All they need is Star Wars Theory to say, Disney will never do this. That's why I have to make a fan movie, because Disney will never do it. They'll go, we'll show you, we'll do it. Star Wars Theory said he's not going to watch Andor anymore, and I respect that take, and I love it. Don't afford this trash garbage that all three of us don't really care about Andor. Don't give it your coverage. This show is so whack. The biggest YouTuber doesn't even cover it. All right, I don't need to watch it. Damn, I'm going to watch the Star Wars shows that the big YouTubers do cover. And I think Den of Nerds is the same way, where he just doesn't care about Andor. So it's chill. So I think that's the right way.
They also have a personal vendetta against the whole Andor stuff too. I will say this though, I don't share the same opinion as Theory when it comes to the grape scene that is in Andor. I'm not saying that I agree with it.
Wait, hold on. It's a lag. Go ahead, Darius.
I'm not saying that I agree with it. What I'm simply saying is we can't sit and assume that, and I'm not saying that they needed to show it either. We never need to talk about it, put it on Front Street in Star Wars, but I feel like the implication has always been there.
Of sexual violence?
Got Jabba. Oh yeah, I mean, you even look at the description of what George Lucas's Underworld Star Wars show was going to be. I believe sexual, or sex rather, was in the description. His description of the show.
So, first of all, we've all watched 9 on this panel. We've watched 9 Star Wars movies.
I saw 6. The other 3 don't count.
Even as it may, it applies to the other 3. Let's throw the prequels in there, or the sequels in there as well. We've watched 9 Star Wars movies. And the most overt sexual act that we've seen on screen is a kiss. At any point. At any point. By 2 characters that are in love, by brother and sister, by seeming foes throughout the entire series turned lovers at the last minute. Kiss. That's all we've ever gotten. It's the furthest we've gone is a kiss. A quick kiss, too. Not even with tongue. So how we go from that and implied sexual violence in a proposed unmade project to full on he graped me is a leap. Before this episode in Andor, sexual violence does not exist in Star Wars. You can't point to one point of dialogue. You can't point to one scene. You cannot prove to me definitively that action even exists in the galaxy far, far away. Andor made that so. This is fantasy. This is a place where we can actually craft what is and what isn't. And so somebody, or not you, but Kathleen Kennedy, somebody who's so pro-feminist, so pro-woman, working overtime to inject sexual violence in a galaxy where it doesn't exist,
to show that it's wrong.
blows my mind.
To show that it's wrong.
Yeah, blows
Like I said,
my mind.
I agree. I don't think that don't think that it should ever been shown, because it's never been shown. Like you led with your rebuttal. Like it's never been shown in all 6 movies, the 3 that Disney made. It's never been shown. But I still hold to the side of the argument, because I guess I'm on both sides. I still hold to the argument that it is somewhat implied. The Twi'leks being slaves, being in Jabba's palace, or being in other places too. If you play the Star Wars games or read the comics or books or anything like that, you see that Twi'leks are typically the prostitutes, if you will, of Star Wars, where they are romanticized, where they are typically in these skimpy suits and they are doing these strip club dances, and they are typically slaves. And
So,
with
but to me,
slavery,
that's
typically
drawing the
comes the
line at
atrocities
desire.
of.
When you have strippers or even prostitutes, you can still segment that, depending on how you're shooting it, into desire. There was no scene of Jabba beating them women. There was no scene of any of the patrons of those women exacting violence on them. They were still treated as women. So there is
But in
overt
Jabba's
sexual
palace,
violence,
and
and then there's implied violence that may occur, but that we never see on screen. Andor made it real,
in
definitive.
Jabba's palace, in the very beginning of Return of the Jedi, we see her in chains dancing and then refusing when Jabba's trying to pull her close to him, and he has his tongue out trying to lick her, and she refuses him, and then he throws her into the pit with the Rancor. So I would
Again,
say it's implied.
none of that is the level of leads to the level of rape.
Exactly.
None of that.
And
As
again, I do
overtly
say
violent
it
as
shouldn't have been
may
showed
be,
on the screen. But it
Or
is
said.
like, if you pull that scene up right now of me like trying Jabba, he's
You
foaming
went
at
out.
the mouth, licking his lips.
You went out, Darius.
Can you hear me now?
Do it again. I think it might be coming back.
It's using the other microphone.
Is it?
Okay, can you hear me now?
We hear you, but it sounds like it's the other mic. Go ahead. I can hear my own voice as I talk to you. Johnny Washington says, and in the novel, wasn't Anakin mom and murdered? What did we see
Again,
on screen?
when
Did
we
she say
never
the word
again,
the same way that this character Bix said the word out loud? They went a stage that Star Wars usually doesn't go, and that's valid for me to criticize it. And now I wasn't watching the show anyways, but I went to the scene. I had to go see for myself. I went to episode 3. I went to the end. I saw it all take place, and I go, this doesn't feel like something Star Wars has done in the past. Even with the
there's
licking.
also deniability in that scene. When you don't show it happening on screen, he could have just beat her and tied her up. There is nothing that says that those midget men outside raped Anakin's mom. We don't see it. She doesn't say it. No one says it. She's just tied up and beaten. She's not sitting in a pool of her own blood. She's not sitting in a compromising position. They don't even strongly imply that sex was involved, just violence.
Now, see, that part I don't agree with. I don't think that no, not you. I don't think that the Sand People, or it was even implied that the Sand People raped
Shmi.
Shmi.
No, I don't think that happened.
I think it was more implied that she got her ass beat.
Yeah.
The Sand People are ruthless. They aren't human. They don't care about, they don't share the same customs and things like that. So they probably just beat her ass back and forth and tied her up and left her to die.
Yeah.
But
And
I
that's
still
as
stick
far
by
as
the
they
scene with
go.
Jabba and the Twi'lek.
But okay, even that's violence. They're drawing the line at violence. Violence has always been a part of Star Wars. What has not has been sexual violence specifically against women. We have never crossed that line. We've never gone into the point of making real life, earthly male and female sexual dynamics apply to Star Wars. Very basically, we have love, desire, that kind of thing. But we've never crossed into the realm of what happens when a man is denied in Star Wars universe. What happens when he exerts his physical prowess over a woman in the Star Wars universe. We have never touched that.
I agree. And I agree that's why I said I'm on the side of the fence where it shouldn't have been shown, regardless of whatever fantasies Tony Gilroy had that he wanted to put in Star Wars. It shouldn't have been shown. It's implied enough, in my opinion, to where you don't have to show it.
To show it.
You don't have to show the rape. You don't have to show, and I haven't even seen it. I'm not gonna watch it. But you just don't.
I'll tell you what happens, Darius. He reaches over, he slowly says more stuff to her, gets closer to her, and they're alone. And then they fight. And then they fight, and she has to beat him up. Now someone hears it, like one of the guards hear it, and they're like, what's going on inside that home? And you see him leave the house, and he succumbs to his injuries. And then she has to explain, yeah, but he was trying to me. She was telling the guard. So they said it, and they showed the action of
they said the word.
Yeah, she says the words when she was trying to explain why she had to go and kill that man. She was like, because he tried to me.
Oh, I didn't even know they said the word. You know, with even that, I guess that's the problem I have with it too, because even with Leia, I'm sorry, not Leia, even with Padme and Anakin, you know Padme's pregnant, you know they're married, but you obviously you have to know how children are made, but that is never touched upon within the scenes that they have with one another.
Implied, not shown, and that's why it's such a big leap from where we were, where Star Wars was in terms of a baseline in terms of sexuality, and where Tony Gilroy shot it to with that scene.
Don't watch the show; it's not
I
canon.
agree.
That's you agree with? Don't watch the show; it's not canon.
Do I agree with don't watch the show? It's not canon. Then I would have to say that Rogue One is not
Rogue
canon.
One gets to be canon. This one doesn't get to be canon.
Just sever the show from the movie.
Actually, no matter what franchise we're talking about, if you don't watch it, it doesn't exist in your mental space. So I know that's not the truth, but if I don't see the fifth,
No, as a Star Wars fan, that is the truth. You have to be in your head canon. You can pick and choose what you want to be canon.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I never watched episode 9 a second or third or fourth time. So I'm forgetting so
One-time
much.
view or myself. Yeah, I've only seen it one time.
You know, and I saw it on my little computer because I didn't want to pay to see it. So you know what? It doesn't even exist, bro. You can ignore it.
Oh, I saw it more than once, unfortunately.
Yeah, one-time watch
Yeah.
for me.
That's Shannon Sharpe levels of deprivation. Why would you watch it multiple times?
I'm Ray Skywalker. The hell.
Man, you know, my theater, because I saw it in a big showing. When she said that, man,
What? Who gave you that?
people were disgusted.
Who told you that was okay? And she waited for everybody to die and was like, now I'm the last Skywalker. That is crazy. How you just appropriate somebody's name after their family line just is eradicated.
Yeah. As long as she's eradicated.
Oh no.
Maybe basketball players might need to learn how to fall and like judo. There's sports that teach everyone how to fall down. And I
Shaq
think
took a stunt class to learn how to fall.
smart. I saw Charles
There's
Barkley
learning how
explain
to
it.
fall, but then there is deliberately being ran through like you are playing football.
But
Because
the
what happened
correct
to Jimmy, that wasn't an athletic
You don't
move.
think he
Like,
fell
I mean,
down? You didn't see how his legs kind of got tangled up with Steven Adams and how like he only had one direction to go, was forward. I don't think he tried to hurt him. I don't know what happened in John Morant's
They
game,
were
but-
doing some off the wall shit that game. Like you go back and you watch some of the replays that have been clipped of them like elbowing Steph coming down the court, or
They let
holding
it go
Steph,
too
pushing
long.
Steph.
Yeah, they let him play.
They
too
did.
long. Mm-hmm. They should have
They
took control of the game earlier. But that play specifically on Jimmy Butler, it looked like dude had his leg tied up.
I might
Just
have
kinda
the clip up right here. John Morant.
And stolen by Pippen. Drop off, Morant, and Lucic.
Shit.
Ooh.
God damn.
Drop off, Morant.
They are whooping OKC's ass.
Still without Ja? Oh, yeah. 67
know.
and 40. 27 points. Damn. You know what's crazy? I think if he continues to elevate and just dunks the ball, that probably doesn't happen to him. He may get his leg over top of him.
Doesn't look that bad.
He looked down at it, and that took his momentum away from going up.
I think thankfully his hands took a lot of impact. So whatever sternum injury, whatever it is, that's a little he can get back from it. I don't know if we should have stopped the stream for that, bro. Like that wasn't that excessive. Still, somehow Palpatine return was the worst line. You're right. I would have raised my hand. How? Ludor clipped. Yeah. Draymond pushed the dude who fell into Jimmy Butler. Yep, that's right.
No. Dre was having a good basketball play moment right there and boxing him out.
Okay.
I just think he fell. I
And
think he got caught in between Steven Adams and Draymond. And when he tried to go forward, his legs weren't underneath him and he fell.
If Jimmy Butler decides the point of impact should be his durable shoulder blades and top and upper back instead of his tailbone, and he knew how to fall, we wouldn't be here. And people should learn how to fall in not wrestling, but they should learn from wrestlers, good in a wrestling ring, and learn how to fall. Your fat, or there's surfaces that are more pleasant than your tailbone. Shannon Sharpe
take
is
us
done.
out.
Andor is done.
I
Sinners
think
is
the last
done.
one is storm casting.
There's a storm casting. What are you talking about?
I think people have been buzzing around Jamie Lawson, and also Jody Turner showed up to the Thunderbolts premiere, so they got people talking.
I'm gonna have somebody else come on with a little casting scoop, Darius. You're not the only one. I got some Static Shock news that you might like to hear, and I'm gonna get that situated by next week. Okay, Darius, go ahead. You get the scoop this week, but your little storm casting, I'm gonna outdo you.
So my source had messaged me on, what day was this? This was the 22nd. But we had talked about some X-Men stuff previous. Like there's some other stuff that he had talked about that, like Krakoa, and how that being the direction that the MCU is moving with the X-Men when they get to the Mutant Saga. It's going to be heavy on Krakoa and what's going on with Hickman and all that in the comics. When it comes to Jamie Lawson, what I was told when we got the Damson Idris information was that it was going to be a package deal. If Damson came, then they were going to get Jamie Lawson to come
Damson's
over.
coming.
But she was on a short list.
Pause.
And that's if Damson is really going to be the one that takes the role or whatever. However,
man,
and we'll
I
see
would
what's going
love
on
that.
with T'Challa. But what I have been told on the 22nd was that, and we had talked about Jodie previously in some other messages. I just couldn't say anything about it. But she had said that Jodie was close to Storm if she hasn't already signed already. That is why she is making her appearance at the Thunderbolts red carpet. He said, I've been holding off on that for a minute, but I think it's getting very close. He said so that she is likely either signed or very close to signing.
We need to push Jamie Lawson, y'all. We need to get Jamie Lawson. Say her name, create all the fan pages, repost all the medias with her. Please let Storm be Jamie Lawson. Please.
Now, he
Please.
did say, which I didn't acknowledge because this is not and I'm sure, I don't know if he's watching or not. I don't know if he watches or not. But I didn't acknowledge this because I obviously do not feel the same way. But he said that let me find exactly what he said. I just can't wait to see who they pair her with as far as T'Challa. So he is still under the impression that T'Challa is coming.
Damson Idris deleted his tweets talking about, oh, well, I'm also being cast for James Bond, too. He deleted that tweet. Why would you do that otherwise without, like, having some studio person to tell you, hey, keep that on the down low? Damson Idris, at the time, at some point in time, was being considered to play the role of T'Challa. And I think I can guarantee you guys that he is T'Challa. Now, I shouldn't say that. That he's playing somebody who will be a Black Panther. Will it be T'Challa or Toussaint? We don't know.
Dan the Man, as far as DeWanda Wise, there was never a deal from Marvel speaking about that. That was
Good.
just her saying that she wanted to be Storm.
Yeah, I don't want no 45-year-old.
First of all, you know what? We don't have to start this now. I feel like I tried to educate you on Black women, and if you don't got it, you don't got it. But she gonna be all right. She can go play Vixen and clean up. She can go play another character.
She could play Vixen, couldn't she?
If Jodie Turner Smith ends up Storm, I guess Wish her the best of luck. I like
Even
Jamie Lawson. That's my
she's
pick.
too old for my liking too. If you're gonna start and you're going for
What
multiple
take
years,
on Storm do you think the MCU is going to give? Is it going to be X-Men
If they going with those
97's
actresses, then I would expect them to try to match up with the 97 version.
see what Bo DeMeo has to say about that.
She is already
Well,
in Star Wars
if-
and Tron.
If she is really going to be Storm, we'll see.
Is there more to it? What else did he DM you?
Let me see.
They're going to X-Men Evolution route with Storm as the teacher, Psyche and Jean as the graduates. Hey, the comics would suggest that because Cyclops looks really, really young as soon as they like rebooted X-Men comic books with a new writer and everything. It was weird.
All right, y'all. I'm telling you, you think they can just keep playing fast and loose with the IP? They're going to set themselves up for failure.
Nah, bro, look, they don't need Black Widow anymore. We got Florence Pugh, we got, Yelena. We don't need to have the Silver Surfer, we got Shalabals.
Yeah.
We don't need to have T'Challa. Nah, bro, Tucson. What are we talking about?
Okay. Yep.
Captain America, we have him. He's right there. Look at Sam.
Bet.
Thor is just a mantle. You just throw it on someone else, and we got Thor. Chris Hemsworth can be sent off in the next Avengers film.
Mm,
You see, you don't know anything. You don't run studios over here, Marcus.
sure.
Have you heard anything about, or have the stuff about Thunderbolts?
I've tried not to, but I think I know what their new name is, and it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more. It's even more disappointing because that's what I thought Sam and his team was going to be.
Dark.
I thought that was going to be their name.
He's gonna get everyone black.
No, just the new guys is what I'll say. I'll leave it at that. But that's the name that they gave to these guys.
Yeah, no-
and I'm a little bit surprised.
No spoilers for Stamina or anybody. I'm not going to
No
spoil
spoilers.
anything.
Yeah, no spoilers. I won't say too much, but it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I just wonder if people are going to go watch.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to call. Honestly, I think it's a good litmus test because Thunderbolts is tracking low. Tracking
Very low.
right around that Captain America Brave New World area. And they seem to have juiced some stuff into this movie to really try to get people out there. I don't believe the leaks are leaks. I think they're marketing. I think they're literally free. Hey, you really actually need to come and see this movie. I don't know if it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, if that doesn't get people to come out and see the damn movie, then how is the next one going to get people to come out? I keep telling y'all, man, y'all need to be worried about Fantastic Four. You be worried.
Yeah, I don't think, and again, no spoilers. I don't think me saying this is a spoiler. I don't think the thing that is in this film that is supposed to get people to be like, oh my God, is gonna do what they want it to do.
I
If
agree.
it doesn't,
Why can't we spoil it? Why can't we spoil it though?
No.
Like,
We try to be
No, we
respectful.
can't
Some people
spoil
want to
it.
see it. Some people want to see it.
they made a post-credit scene, guys, that wasn't initially the plans to be the post-credit scene, and so effing what? Oh, I can say this. Lately, Marvel hasn't been doing things that attach to other projects, and they feel, yeah, exactly, spoil it. Yeah, spoil it.
Spoil it now.
Lately, they've been doing things that are isolated, okay? You don't have to do homework, fans. You can enjoy this without having to do the work. And that's been, to me, their downfall. This post-credit scene or this kind of, we can fix it. We'll make it matter. Did the Marvels, which ended with my girl, Teyona, with Photon, when it ended with her in another universe of the X-Men, did that make you want to see the movie anymore? Like, this is the same thing. There's something will happen that makes you go, oh, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. But, like, so what? It's
Just
not
wait
enough.
2 days and watch it on the internet.
It'll be on the internet, and yeah. So Make the plot of the movie having to do with Monica Rambeau interacting with some X-Men, and make that, oh, you got to see the movie because there's, you'll see 10 minutes of
X-Men are in
movie
it, yeah.
and not put it in a post credit. I think it's good though that they recognize they have a problem and they want to do changes. And I mean, I got hope for these guys, bro. When we have Ryan Reynolds, who's rumored to be doing a Deadpool movie coming up, he said he's like going to start writing the movie now.
He said he's writing currently.
Yep. He owns the rights. They own the rights to T'Challa. So like, get that right. They own the rights to Iron Man. They own the rights to Captain America, the Captain America. They're fine. They have got like profitable franchises, not to mention Spider-Man, which they share the gross with Sony also. And when you're grossing $2 billion,
teaming in Spider-Man with them.
Well, I won't.
They only get to
It's okay.
use that man.
I won't.
If
Doctor Strange has $900 million behind it, so that's another super profitable, not $1 billion, but it's a super profitable franchise. Wolverine or whatever they do with X-Men, I expect $1 billion also. They are fine enough with the projects that they have. When they do 3 movies a year, they can just run all those names of those projects I just named to you, and then cycle it back up 3 years later with those projects again. They just don't need to make the Thunderbolts and take those stupid risks like they've been doing so far. They'll be fine. They could be fine if they decide to go the right route. This is self-sabotage if they don't recast T'Challa, if they don't bring back Chris Evans.
It's absolutely self-sabotage.
Don't wait 7 years for an Avengers.
It's feeling more and more like what we see is what we're going to get in this Doomsday movie. And I just don't get it, y'all. I don't know where the it is going to come from. I have no idea where the it factor that made Endgame, that made Infinity War, that made Civil War and Winter Soldier. I don't know where they're going to get that.
That's why I said it's a big waiting game right now. Like, it is a huge waiting game. I think really though, and this is really not me being an Anthony Mackie hater. They need to not have him being the one right now, like trying to hype Doomsday up. Everything he keeps saying about Doomsday, I'm like, oh, please stop. Like when he said he was asked by an interviewer, what do you think Captain America's reaction is going to be to seeing Tony Stark, Dr. Doom that looks like Tony Stark? And his answer, he shouldn't be the champion right now.
What we say about Mackie? Or maybe just about Brave New World.
He said it brings back the old Marvel feeling.
Let me not say that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying things that are like, "Oh, Marvel's back," and some of that. If you never recognize
that capital, man, people are going to stop believing you. They're going to stop listening when you say that. It's probably what Thunderbolts is dealing with.
I don't think I've ever said Marvel's back, but I will when I go to Comic-Con and when T'Challa has been cast, when X-Men is coming in 2028 after Avengers, we've got this. Russo brothers are going to be behind this, and we still got Destin Daniel Cretton doing Shang-Chi, and we still got, when they give me that, I'm going to go, Marvel's back. They'll be fine. And that hasn't come out yet for me because I'm credible. Credible influencer right here.
Same. Yep. Bringing back T'Challa would certainly make them back. A good X-Men team that is the X-Men that we know and expect and want to see, and not the goddamn I think X-Men Evolution was on WB. Why in the fuck? Who and why would want that version in the MCU? I have no clue, but no thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, if Blade is back and they say we're gonna make the movie with Mahershala Ali, I'll say yeah, and it's the John Wick director. This is awesome, and I don't even need it to be a $200 million budget the same way some of these movies are.
Absolutely not. It could be
he's a slasher. He's we made $90 million with Sinners, right? Yep. You're Marvel. Go give it $130 million. Oh, no complaints, bro. You can definitely do a quality Blade film that many people will want to see, and because it's Marvel, people will see it internationally too.
You can shoot on site in London. I think that would do something good for Blade if they shot on site somewhere overseas. I think that would do a lot for the film.
But not if it's called Midnight Suns featuring Blade. Like, nah, bro, it's got to be called Blade.
Blade. featuring the Midnight Suns, because I could go for some Ghost Rider in a Blade movie. I could
Blade
do
and
it.
the Midnight Suns, but don't do what Captain Marvel's sequel got, which you never
Yeah,
called the movie
yeah.
Captain Marvel. You called
Right.
it The Marvels. Well, then no one
Right.
here is a lead. No one is worthy of it.
I wouldn't say it was bad, but it's more of the B team X-Men when you compare it to 97.
Yeah, Blade's not happening. You got all the people now coming out talking about what it was gonna be, what their roles were gonna be. Yeah, nah.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's pretty upsetting to be a fan right now with all the mishaps and stuff. Even when Star Wars Celebration, like we said, did better than we thought. Still, it's just no one's scratching that itch right now. No one's got our creative juices going. I look towards DC, and look, they weren't even a topic this week, were they? We talked about Shannon Sharpe longer than Kanye West, longer than DC.
I don't think DC is really. I mean, the last thing they gave us was the Superman deal behind the scenes kind of look of all of them talking about what James Gunn's kind of building and things like that. I think the next thing he needs to do is just get the film in July.
Sinners was a good break from being upset at everything in media.
What did you say? What happened?
Sinners was a good break from usually being upset at everything we see in media. It's been a harsh 5-6 years.
Sure. I mean, we've had some other bright spots. We've had movies like Doom. Doom 2 was a bright spot. I feel like
We had
I enjoyed
Invincible
it.
season 3.
Invincible season 3 has been good. I like the first season of Gen V. First season of Gen V was good. Oh my God! How did I allow you to speak on Invincible? You are not allowed to speak on Invincible. Darius, you can replace him with that thought, and I'll accept it.
We just need a good TV series. Oh, we had The Penguin. A lot of people like that. I didn't watch it. but a lot
Penguin
of
was good. Yeah.
people like that. Yeah.
That new Predator movie looks like it's going to be good.
The one that they released on Hulu a couple of years ago wasn't bad. The one about the Indian chick.
It's the same
Who's fighting the
director
Predator?
and team.
Okay, that's encouraging because I like that actually.
Yeah, it looks like. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Looks like it's going to be pretty good. It was very weird to not see them with their mask. I mean, obviously we have seen them without them, but for the entirety of the film will be different.
Yeah, no, it's usually not a jump scare, but it's more of a shocking reveal when he actually gets the thing off. He opens up his mouth, so they're gonna be like that the whole time. Is kind of dope.
Which part should I skip to?
My bad, Stamina. I'm old habits die hard. Natives, indigenous, whatever the proper term is.
Oh, I legitimately thought you were talking about like a South Asian person. Okay.
No. She was an American, indigenous, Indian, native person. There I go. I used all of the labels. I hope I was politically correct.
Yeah. They're an of color.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Only a 1-minute trailer. I like that. 1 minute 11 seconds. Get in, get out. You got to do that. And it's a teaser. It's coming in November. You'll get the real big trailer later.
I do think there's a Predator anime coming out too. Whoever said that in the chat.
Oh. Well, Disney's doing something right.
Still a spun-off studio. Hulu's doing its own thing. It's still running under the Fox studio, so they can't even really claim this shit. Like this shit that's being done under the umbrella, but in siloed studios. This shit don't count.
Okay, Lilo and Stitch, they're doing that right.
That one does look good. It looks good. I'm actually a little bit excited for that.
Yeah, that one does look good. I wonder how to Train Your Dragon in June, because Lilo and Stitch will still be in theaters by then.
Yeah.
When it comes out, because How to Train Your Dragon looks like it's going to be good from DreamWorks.
It's just too soon for How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Is it too soon?
It feels super close to the animated series, right? It feels like if they made a live action Transylvania right now. They're like, it's
How
too close,
long
man.
ago did How to Train Your Dragon come out?
15 years ago. If you're 15 years ago, you're supposed to wait for that person to have a child, and then they can go to the movie together. 15 years. Not every 15-year-old has a kid. Everyone has kids at 15. I feel like you got to wait a little longer than that. Make an animated How to Train Your Dragon 3. That would work, and then you can do the live action twist. I think they got to wait longer. Kind of feels like when we did Harry Potter and they're doing a series of Harry Potter, and we're going, it's a little bit soon. The movies they just finished like in 2011. They just finished, right? Should we have done a series? We could have waited and cooled off on it. There's some cool off period that they didn't do. But anyways, it'll be good. It's DreamWorks, right? DreamWorks also doing Shrek 5. They haven't done a movie since I guess Puss in Boots They haven't done a movie since Puss in Boots. They'll be fine. I think Shrek is a good idea to return to, and we miss him and we grew up on him, and that's another one where you were a kid and now you're bringing your kids to it to experience it.
Moana live action is going to be a whopper too.
But you got to do Moana live action now to have The Rock continue to do Maui. Otherwise, you can't have The Rock. I think that's a big selling point.
Yep.
Yeah. Official MG beat me to that. How to Train Your Dragon does have 3 movies, but also with this whole Shrek thing, we have to keep in our minds that the Shrek original film came out, 2000, 2002?
Early 2000.
The jokes and
was
things
that
they
Green
got
Day
away
was
with.
before?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Somebody once told me the world was always open. Nothing was a shell.
Hey, salute to the Paradox Band.
Is that who that was?
No, that was Smash Mouth who sang that song.
Smash Mouth.
Salute to the Paradox. They're a band that's new and they got like new music coming on Friday, which it's past midnight. I think it's out now. It's called Do Me Like That. Sorry, Darius. Go ahead, bro. But it's your fault for lagging. So like we feel inclined to cut you off.
No, I was done with it. I was just saying that it has 3 movies, and Shrek 5 is not going to be like any of the other Shreks, and I don't think it's going to do well.
Toy Story 5?
You should have stopped at 3.
Yeah, probably should have stopped at 3. I did not care for 4. I have no idea. What is this going to be? Woody stayed with Bo Peep. Jesse and Buzz is living with the little girl. How are they even going to show back up with each other? Like, it's just, I don't even know how it's going to make sense.
This one is supposed to be heavily centered around Jesse.
Oh,
without Woody and Bo Peep?
Sounds like Disney to me.
Without Woody?
I think they're in it. Obviously, I think they got to be.
So Woody gonna walk his ass out of the RV park and just find Jesse. Or are they going to conveniently show back up to the park and Woody's still going to be there?
Andy might even be there. Who knows?
I don't got time for this. We left Andy in 3 where we were supposed to when he gave them toys to Jesse.
And is Spoonie gonna be there? Or what's its name?
No. See, again, I don't want to have to deal with these bullshit ass characters that came out of episode 4 or they came out of Toy Story 4. Spoonie's stupid. We don't need him. Don't need it. Don't want to see him. Don't bring him back. Forky. That's what it is. Forky. He's so irrelevant. I forgot what piece of silverware he was.
Yeah.
He's not even a full fork. He's a spork. Fucking utensil of Taco Bell.
Is it Jesse or Bonnie? It's Bonnie.
It's Jesse.
Bonnie. It's Bonnie. I don't know. I have no clue.
Bonnie is the little girl that took the toys from Andy, or Andy gave the toys to her.
Is that not who we're talking about?
No, Jessie is the
cowgirl. She's
the cowgirl.
The cowgirl. Dude, that's who you're talking about. So the movie is going to be about Jessie? We did this already. It's called Toy Story 2.
So Tim Allen is a voter of the Republican Party, and probably the people working there over there at DreamWorks, bro. Those people making an allegory for periods in their movie, they're not feeling Donald Trump. So Tim Allen will get less lines, and it's the woman's.
But see, I don't know about that because they brought him back to do the Santa Claus series, and that was one of the only things that was actually popping on Disney Plus around that time. So like they let him work on the Santa Claus thing.
Okay.
So wait a minute. So what's that show he has?
Last Man Standing. And that's
So that's
on ABC.
really him.
That's ABC, yeah.
No. I'm saying Last Man Standing. That's not a character. He's not acting.
Oh, that's
He's
who
playing
he is in real
himself.
life. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. He really doesn't like Obama.
No, I don't think so. Probably not.
Oh,
Probably
the
would've
shit he
loved
says
him when
about
he was-
Obama in the show is funny. I'm like, I thought it was like, oh, this is just a character you're playing, but he's being authentic. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't even know how to interject this into the conversation. Basically, Tim Allen used to be a drug dealer, like a legitimate trafficker. Got arrested by the FBI, and it's just funny how some people have certain tracks and end up thinking certain ways. Because you would think a guy who had that kind of life, who was able to legitimize and make a lot of money, would have a different mindset, but he does not. So
We got Ballerina, the John Wick's spin-off movie, and Keanu Reeves is part of that, so that should be good.
Whose spinoff movie?
John Wick, Baba
yes,
Yaga.
all of those, everything on the John Wick slate, I'm here for. The animated series, John Wick 5, Ballerina, I want it all. Put it in my veins, brother.
28
shit,
years
my
later,
veins.
do we care about that horror 28 years later?
If it's going to be scary.
Yeah, let's give Nia another shot here. Let's give her another chance. I know people aren't really high on the Candyman remake. Obviously, the Marvels wasn't it. So it's kind of a 3 strikes and out kind of thing. She gets at least the opportunities that Ava DuVernay got.
Brad Pitt, Damson Idris is in F1. That's an interesting movie.
Interesting enough for me to see. Enough for me to see in theaters. I don't know. They spent a lot of money on it, so it does make me intrigued on how it looks. But it's kind of like the same thing with Ford versus Ferrari, or the movie that Chris Hemsworth was in about the driver who got burnt up, got his face all burnt up. There's only so much interest in driving for me personally. That's why I haven't really gotten into F1. There's only so much interest in watching somebody drive a car. At some point, the interest comes from driving the car, not from watching somebody doing it. So I just don't know how interested they can make me in the movie beyond the few race scenes that they probably put a lot of money into.
July has Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, and Superman, so I know we'll be fine there. 3 movies to talk about. Every week we'll come on here and chat about each.
No.
Yeah, see? No complaints. What's that movie that's going on? It's coming out next week. Who's in it? Kerry Washington's in it, and she has a
with
Shadow Force.
Omar Sy. Yeah. They're a bounty hunting couple. They had a old team that they've been hired to take out, and they're threatening their family because of it. I like the premise. I think it's on Netflix. I think that's coming out on Netflix.
Oh, I thought it was a movie theater movie. Are you sure?
It may be one of those simultaneous releases, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out on Netflix.
Shadow Force action thriller releases May 9. It says movies.
What's the studio though?
Distributed by Lionsgate.
Okay, cool. So this is a legit movie then. It's not a streaming thing.
Method Man is in it.
Yep, Method Man is in it.
Is the Odyssey not this year? Or 2020? Is that 2026?
They're filming it this year, so 2026.
2026.
Yeah, I don't think. I think this is a really big year for movies in the latter half of the year. I know you've got Avatar, Fire and Ash. You've got.
Oh yeah.
I think Dune 3, right?
He said he thinks John Morant might have fractured his hip out until next season. Jesus, that didn't look like a hip fracture type of fall. Looked like he fell forward.
Dune 3 is December of 2026.
I am so hyped for Dune Messiah. Put that shit in my veins too. Like if Star Wars is not gonna get their shit together, I will completely convert to Dune.
What the streets are saying is that Dave Filoni's film, albeit what others have said about it being just a side quest for the series, people are saying that it is the original feel that Star Wars fans have been wanting since Disney has taken over. And I
It should
honestly
be.
believe that.
Yeah, it's
Let's
Dave
hope.
Filoni.
Let's hope.
I know, but we believe it. You're hoping?
Well, again, Dave has been here, y'all. He been here. He's been involved. I have to see some evidence that the Rebels are winning before I can fully say that, yeah, Dave's going to be able to do what Dave wants to do, and it's going to come out in a way that's pleasing to us. Because the last time I saw Dave behind the wheel, it was Boba Fett.
No, Ahsoka.
That was Jon Favreau.
The episodes that he wrote in Boba Fett.
I'm pretty sure Boba Fett was just Favreau.
Robert Rodriguez did Boba Fett.
So who
Pepper
had
wrote
the
it, though,
two
did he not?
episodes in Boba Fett where Grogu gets put out of the of Mando's care?
That's
and takes
Kathleen
over?
Kennedy's decision from above. Who decided to write the episode where it happens?
Yeah.
I'm not putting anything on them.
Does the
But he
man
did Ahsoka.
have a position of lead creative at Lucasfilm or not?
Not at the time.
All right. If you're going to give Filoni a pass for Boba Fett, then give him a pass.
I'm
for
definitely
Acolyte
not.
too. Then give him a
I'm
pass
just
for Acolyte, because Acolyte was in production before Dave got his title too. So if we're not blaming him for anything that happened in Boba Fett, then you're not blaming him for Plagueis.
I'm definitely blaming him for Plagueis
No,
because
you're not.
he had a
He didn't
flat
have
out
his title.
discussion with Hedlund about Plagueis.
Dog, he didn't have his title while that was being put into place.
He may not
So
have
the
had his
same
title.
excuse you're giving him for Boba Fett is the same excuse he can use for Acolyte.
True.
Is
He
he
may
in
not
charge
he
or
may
not?
not have had his title on Acolyte or Boba Fett. But with a character like
Doesn't have a
Plagueis,
say
who
so. Can he say no? Can he say, all right, well, you were doing that, we're not
It's
doing it
not
now
e-
because I'm in
we've
control.
had this conversation about Hedlund and Plagueis. It has nothing to do with him telling her no. It has more to do with him advising her on the importance of this character and why the scene that you're trying to inject him in is dumb as shit.
Which is saying no, which is saying, hey, we cannot do this the way that you are showing it. The way that you're trying to go about this, we cannot do it that way. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that he would do this. It doesn't line up with already established Star Wars lore. It is his job to say yay or nay. He's like Poppy on on Dan Levitar's show. See or no. And see, on the other hand, in the MCU side, we got somebody who's too heavy-handed telling people no. No, Nia DaCosta, you can't have X-Men in your Marvels movie. No, you can't highlight Monica Moore. No, you can't do whatever the hell it is he backed her off of doing. And on the other side, Filoni just let them run wild. Do whatever. I'm the cool guy in the room. I don't ruffle feathers. Do your thing.
Yes, but Dave is also not in the same position as Kevin Feige that is telling Nia DaCosta no.
He's supposed to be. Theoretically, he's supposed to be able to tell a Leslie Hedlund to eat shit and go rewrite her thing. And if it gets more expensive, then that's her fault. But again, he's supposed to be able to be the adult in the room and say, hey, according to Lucas's edict, according to Rebels lore, according to post-Empire lore, like he's supposed to be the guy that's supposed to guide them into what's correct. Right or wrong. So if we hold him to that standard, I can't keep excusing as to why these things are so jumbled up. It was his job.
True, it is his job. But at the same time, like Lawrence said, KK is still in charge of everything. If she says, like she did in the Book of Boba Fett, no, fuck your plans, we're bringing Grogu back because he does sell and because I said so, Dave got bills to pay. He's not going to go against her and be like, oh, you're right, or be like, you're wrong, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, and then she's going to say, hold that thought.
Yep.
He probably did say it though. I can see him going, hold on, no, we're doing something with Grogu long term. And then she goes, listen, I hear you. I take it into consideration. It's my decision. We're gonna move Grogu from Book of Boba Fett into the back with, well, and he probably did object to it. I'm not saying he didn't.
that just means that his title is fake. That means
No,
the
it
title.
doesn't. It means that he has a boss. It doesn't mean his title's fake. It just means that his boss's decision
if
override
he's
it
not
is.
empowered to make the decisions, then it's phony baloney. It's
He
for
makes
show.
millions of decisions. He makes most of them. He makes the decisions from the beginning.
I can't fully have confidence in a person who can't say no, who can't stop something that is very detrimental to the brand from happening. It's not just like Kathleen Kennedy made a move and it was innocuous and that it didn't reverberate throughout the studio, that it didn't have a lasting effect. You are supposed to be the guardrail against that. And even though, yeah, she's the studio head, if you don't have the license to make creative decisions, then you do not truly have power. If someone can
Okay,
just
but
walk
you-
in the room and cut your legs out from underneath you, who's doing that to Kevin Feige?
That's such an extreme.
I
You
mean,
do not
but
do
I
that.
would,
that
I
to
would
him.
say, it in this way. You look at this, and please don't turn it into I'm not steering it into a political conversation. You look at this current administration, clearly the house is on fire, but everybody in the house is like, it's all right, because we were told we have to do this, so we're going to do it.
Okay.
I
Kevin
feel the same way.
Feige, we don't know. Kevin Feige probably had things that were pushed on him. Hey, Bob Chapek might have said, listen, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to effing happen. We're going to make that movie. I don't know if that didn't happen. I don't know if he tried to say no, but he got overrided. It doesn't mean Dave Filoni is powerless. Like, he has enough power to a point. And the point is when Kathleen Kennedy disagrees or whoever president is.
Fair enough. And again, we just got done talking about how there seems to be some internal struggle. We don't know if that's not being spearheaded by Dave. You got to show me for me to have the confidence that you're going to bat. This thing with Balin Skull feels like a first step in that direction. I just would have liked it to seen it more in a defensive posture when we were taking this onslaught.
Sure, man.
She has to be gone first.
August.
She has to.
You believe the August stuff? I think Marcus said, yeah, he do, right?
It certainly lines up with what's been
she
going on.
just came back out though and said no.
But that only tells me that again, there's a struggle there. There's head conflict because they're both coming from trades. She has her friends in the trades, and whoever is feeding Deadline has their friends in the trades.
Mike Fleming Jr., that's her friend in Deadline.
So it's like there's a trade war going on. Or who was the one who broke it about her leaving in August? Was that Variety?
Matthew Baloney and Puck.
That's
Sorry,
fine.
wait.
Puck
No, I don't
News.
remember.
It was Puck you or Puck off news, Puck something news.
Fuck off.
It's something like that. Is it Puck News? Just Puck. Oh,
Just
okay.
He used to work for Hollywood Reporter, then he went solo 3-4 years ago.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, Kathleen's using her friends to try to write the narrative, and people are still writing articles about her retiring. So obviously, there's some sort of internal struggle going on there.
Well, the key word is retirement. It's not. It's no longer president, but it doesn't mean she's retiring. She'll still be producing a Star Wars movie because Gina Carano is in court and they don't want to make her an enemy. When Gina Carano's not having a suit against them, Kathleen Kennedy can go. We don't care what you say.
I haven't heard a single word about that suit. I don't know if they worried about Gina Carano like that. They are trying to keep her happy for some reason. I agree. Like they aren't just marching her out like the financial cancer that she's been. So something's keeping her there. I just don't know if it's Gina Carano.
I would say on the Dave thing that we are kind of seeing a pushback from Dave. Notice in all of Dave's projects, he's pulling from legends. He's pulling from material that actually works, while Kathleen continues to say, hey, let's make up this irrelevant fucking character and see if the people like him.
Let's do this Ray movie and this Ray movie, and Ryan Johnson's still coming. Hey, Taika, are you working on your movie?
Right.
So where do you guys think that Sean Levy falls into all of this? Because he would have to be a Kathleen drone.
He has to be.
Like, he has to be.
In order for his film, because you look at all the shit that they talked about last Celebration, none of it went into production. How Levy's, which was rumored before it was completely confirmed a Celebration, is already they're shooting.
When did he even
would
make
have
it,
to.
Darius? When did he have time to make it? When
That's
did
what
he
I'm
have time
saying.
to write a script to get the concept going? Rumors is that he's having trouble casting for it. There are some up and coming names that have already told him no.
Mhm.
So when did you have time to shoot for this, to write for this?
Have you heard the premise of it?
I have not.
It is supposed to be obviously 5 years after the Rise of
After
Skywalker.
Rise of Sky, that part I did hear. Yep.
He is going to. He's a jet. Excuse me. He's a Force. I don't know if he's a Jedi or something like that. He's Force sensitive. His nephew is also Force sensitive, and who lives with him.
This is such an overworked trope.
He is
Force
married.
sensitive non-Jedi. Jesus Christ.
He's married. He's a married Jedi, or I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's a Jedi, but he's married. His nephew lives with them and is Force sensitive, and then the villains of the movie are supposed to be a pair. I don't know if they are a couple, but it is a man and a woman, and that is all we know so far.
Was this Keeping Up with the Joneses?
I don't like the family aspect of it. Like, oh, if this guy has the Force and he's in the family, he's got the Force. When Kenobi said he had a brother, that means that, oh, that guy's got the Force. I don't like that. I think, but we haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know, but who cares? What did you say? You
And
said
Sean Levy doesn't
was
suck.
a Kathleen Kennedy pick. You're right. He is a Kathleen Kennedy pick, and it's probably something that the masters, Bob Iger, goes, yeah, you just made me $1 billion with Deadpool. Fine, we'll do him. Not James Mangold, who just lost us money with Indiana
Who
Jones.
just destroyed Dial of Destiny.
So we'll do it with him. I mean, it works out, and I think Sean Levy is capable. So I'm not mad at that. If this is the win Kathy Kennedy needs, if the movie's good, okay, Kathy, you're right. You know, you got a good actor with a good director. Canadians, go ahead, do your thing.
I'm with Bosco. Order 66 clearly failed.
I've
Like,
said that
No,
so
clearly
many
wrong.
times.
Ryan Gosling
Clearly
is 40.
failed.
What's Ryan Gosling? 40. The time between Order 66 and Ryan Gosling's age, he wasn't born yet. So this isn't an Order 66 in incursion.
Sure. Not only did you fail to take out the most powerful Jedi left in the universe in Obi-Wan Kenobi, not only did you fail to eradicate the Jedi as a brotherhood, because they continue to train and Jedi continue to sprout up, but you didn't even your stated goal of stamping out the Jedi, right? Of taking them off the board. Nothing that you intended to do happened. You didn't get the strongest. You didn't wipe them out. You didn't even cripple them to the point where they couldn't come back ever. It just nothing.
Hey, don't
Nothing
worry,
worked.
Marcus. Mace Windu is permanently dead. He's never coming back.
Well, that's the only one, right? Yeah,
They got that one for sure.
Yeah, they got that one right. Yeah, sure. Gosling was one of the ones that Anakin missed. I'm telling you, Order 66 was a botch job. It was a Trump tariff. That's what it was.
Order 60.
This is what we gonna do.
Order 66 got completely, which I'm not saying I dislike the direction that Order 66 took when Dave took over Clone Wars, but originally Order 66 is nothing like it goes down in Clone Wars. Like that's not it. The original Order 66, the Jedi were gone. There were no Jedi. I mean, the clones weren't this. They didn't have this attachment to the Jedi. There was no inhibitor chip. It was since birth they were
Fives.
trained to kill Jedi.
Clone. At CT5555. They call them fives. Really? Does that really make a difference? It does to me. Shout out to fives, bro.
And they had no names.
He had a name.
None of them had names. There was no captain this or any of that. They were clones that had one job and one purpose.
You said originally when? Do you mean in the second movie? Because I think I remember Commander Cody.
There is no commander's names said in
Watch the movies again.
Actually, in episode 2, when Yoda's
Big
talking to them, nope, he says, "Thank you, Commander." He does not say a name. Go back and look at it. He does not say a name. He says, "Thank you, Commander. Ready my ship." He does not say a name because they didn't have names.
He's so sure of himself.
I know. I know my Star Wars.
He says
they
the
didn't
word
have
Cody
names.
in episode 3.
Cody's name came in episode 3 because the premise of them having personalities came along.
Okay.
But the original was done in books after episode 2 to fill in the gaps until episode 3. And the clones weren't anything like that.
Okay, got it.
And there were no surviving Jedi. There was no like, oh, we missed one. Or, oh, this guy 10 years later sprouted up. Luke was it.
Well, we got like 17, 18 who survived now.
Yeah, there was a whole fucking underground railroad from him, according to Obi-Wan.
Literally an underground railroad. My boy Jar Jar, real life Jar Jar, not Jar Jar from the movies, but actor Jar Jar, Ahmed Best, whole scooped up Grogu and slid up out of there like he was on the baggage claim thing on the carousel. Got up out of there smooth as hell. So
you think that, but that was the day of Order 66. We don't know if he survives that. We can't count him.
That part's true.
Sure. He definitely could have died later, but then does that actually make him part of Order 66? If you track him down years, months, days later, he wasn't part of the initial killing.
Uh-huh.
Who?
No. Neither was Reva.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's one who survived for sure because we see her years later. But the Ahmed Best character, whose name I don't know, but Darius probably knows.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was made up for that episode.
He was in the Jedi like kids show also, Jedi Adventures or something.
I don't feel that that's canon.
Well, it's canon-ish, I guess.
But yeah, that part is true. What Bosco said. The only clones that did have name were the Commandos. Commandos had names.
Well, Fives has a name, and his inhibitor chip. Big up to Fives.
I like the inhibitor chip change, though. I like it. I mean, I like the original, but I like that too.
That's the first time we like did a Star Wars stream. You were usually talking about other stuff, but Star Wars dominated this right now. What will be our topics next week? Find out. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of when it comes to the entertainment stuff. So we'll see what goes on. I know I'm enjoying Ianu though, and if you like Ianu, go check out my channel.
There is nothing on right now.
Ianu.
Even streaming.
Yeah, Black Mirror was a bit of a disappointment, or has been a bit of a disappointment. The first 2 episodes were okay, and then it gets weird. It's very weird.
Everyone watching this, we usually tell you guys, go watch the Spoiler Kings. They're streaming right now. We're not doing that this week. When you leave here, go check out my short, because I'm calling out new rock stars, and I hope it goes viral. You can't spell the word T'Challa in the comment section of new rock stars? Preposterous. Go check out my short on Chillmonger. It's in the live chat right now.
Absolutely. Go to the theaters this weekend to see The Revenge of the Sith. It is back in theaters for the 20th anniversary. I will be watching it Saturday. I can't wait. I haven't seen this movie in theaters since 2005.
Hey,
talk about the damn Sinners competition. Didn't it make like 20 million the last time they did it on like it was like a
on
day
just a random day?
Random day. Yeah. Oh yeah. You talk about some competition. Star Wars fans get up to watch that stuff for no reason.
I can't wait to see it. As if I haven't seen this movie 1,000 times.
1,000 times, yeah.
I think the difference is I'm seeing it in IMAX.
Go see Sinners instead, or pay money to see Sinners and then walk into the Star Wars screening.
Tell the fake granddaddy of Recast T'Challa to watch his mouth, okay?
Please do not insult John Campea
whenever John speaks about Star Wars. You have to understand that he knows absolutely zero of what the fuck he's talking about. Zero.
Ain't nobody
John-
paying attention to that, man.
Yeah, John says that Clone Wars is completely pointless and just Clone Wars to me, in my opinion, for you prequel haters, it fills in all the gaps that you just feel you have to have. So now John's full of shit.
First of all, I don't really see how you can have the type of affinity for Obi-Wan that people have and not like the prequels. Because what is it exactly? Like, yes, you had the epic battle between Vader and Obi-Wan where Obi-Wan fucking gets scraped like when he dies. So that's cool. And obviously we have the I've been watching you all along, Luke. Like the weird creepy old man in the desert. But like where do you get an affinity for the Obi-Wan's prowess as a fighter or as a leader, as part of the council, if you don't watch the prequels? Where does the respect from Obi-Wan actually start to set in if we're not watching him raise Anakin? If we're not watching him be a leader on the council? Like, what exactly is there to respect about Obi-Wan if you're not watching the prequels?
And it's not even just the whole respecting of Obi-Wan. It changes your entire perspective of Obi-Wan. For me, I put Obi-Wan in the same. I love Obi-Wan. I love Mace Windu, but I put them both in the same category as far as being blinded to the Jedi's ways and things like that. The perfect example, season 7, Clone Wars, when Ahsoka and him are arguing about helping the people of Mandalore or going to help the Chancellor because politics. And Obi-Wan was, on the side of helping the Chancellor. It just gives you a different perspective on him and how he raised Anakin. You got to remember, he told Qui-Gon, why are we picking up another useless life form, comparing Anakin to Jar Jar?
This is a good point, Culture. The problem is that we always know what the transition from written literature to film is, and we know how the popularity grows exponentially. So if you're telling me that the majority of your popularity of Obi-Wan comes from the books, I'm telling you, you're full of shit. I'm telling you, you are full of it. You can say that, and yes, there is a certain part of the Star Wars fan base, the Lucasfilm fan base, that absolutely feels that way, that holds on to their connection of the books. If you're telling me that's the majority, you're full of shit. You're full of shit.
There's a beach in Idaho I gotta sell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's not get started on the development of their relationship in these abominations. He's talking about the prequels. Love the way they were talking about all their bonding adventures in the elevator. That was cinema.
Man, again, that is where Clone Wars, the animation, comes in.
We are legit about to scrap because I feel like he's an older, original first 3 trilogies only. That's the only Star Wars that matters, and that's fine. Except the franchise literally would have died. It would have been over. If the first 3 films are only thing that matters, and this is coming from a guy who wants to forsake the sequel trilogy. I absolutely want to forsake it and write it out of the lore, but like you can't do that with the prequels. You literally cannot. They're integral to Star Wars.
Mike said, "Square up."
All right, bet.
Their relationship is so much more touched on in the animated series. You get to see Anakin realizing that Obi-Wan had a love interest or still has a love interest while he simultaneously has a secret love interest that he thinks is a secret, but Obi-Wan clearly knows about it. With Padme, like, it's so much furthered in the animated series. That's why I said people gotta give Clone Wars a chance. The link that I just put into the chat for people asking like Raymond about Star Wars, look at that link. It is the last time that there was really truly hype around Star Wars.
Salute to Timothy Zahn.
Shout out to Timothy Zahn. Oh, you know what?
What?
Here, this is a good case study. So, for the book people, right? For the anti prequel people, who means more, Zahn or Filoni? You can't
Who
have
does
them both.
what?
Who means more to Star Wars overall? You got to pick one. You can't have both. Zahn or Filoni?
Dave.
It's an easy answer.
It is
Absolutely
Dave.
Zabe. It's absolutely Zabe. And you can say Zahn. You might love Zahn, but he doesn't have. I don't think he has the impact on the Star Wars franchise worldwide that Filoni does.
Because they-
People confuse Zahn with having this, and I love Zahn. I love Zahn. Zahn handles Thrawn fantastically. If it's Thrawn, I want Zahn doing it. That's why Zahn was called in when they brought Thrawn in for Rebels, because it's like, why not? Duh. But when it comes to the overall understanding of Star Wars, Dave, hands down. I mean, you can just go look at what he said at this most recent celebration.
I think what people are doing, they're saying Zahn in the chat are saying, "Oh, if I want a project, who do I want working on the project?" No. Take their work as it is. Everything that Timothy Zahn created, and yes, I'm completely conceding the fact that Dave Filoni worked with a lot of the stuff that Zahn established. I'm just saying the work so Clone Wars, the prequel series, Ahsoka, all of it in the books.
You're asking
Just
someone
deal
their
with the work
opinion.
as it is.
If someone's opinion is I prefer Thrawn, the Grand Admiral, I mean Timothy Zahn, then that's their
fine. I
opinion,
think you're
bro.
gonna find a lot.
Oh, no. Now, Bosco, I completely agree. Now, why that just wasn't transferred to the big screen, I don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, absolutely.
I guess they could still do a version of it, right? I don't know, but
It is so botched at this point. There is absolutely no way you can repair to do Heir of the Empire. You've killed Luke. I don't know I don't even know how they do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like with the Black Panther franchise. You refuse to use your franchise's main character, who is the central point of the three movies the three books that he's talking about.
And that essentially shuts down the plentiful storytelling that you could have done when you do
Right.
that. That's true. That is true.
plentiful.
Right.
He did Avatar: The Last Airbender. Shout out to that. For one season.
He did. I don't think Star Wars needs a reboot.
All right, guys, please get me out of here. I came straight from football practice to do this.
Are you coaching?
I am.
That's fun. Your son?
Yep, and his team, his 6 to 8 year old team that has
That is
the
fun.
attention span of like that right there.
Is it a league thing or is it like a competitive deal?
Yeah, no, it's a competitive league.
Oh,
we
that's fun.
we actually got a game on Saturday and we got a scrimmage on Tuesday.
It matters so much, the competition.
It does.
Absolutely does. You're literally wasting your time with your kids if you're not doing this
Absolutely.
stuff competitively.
I know, guys.
They gain nothing,
Right.
in my opinion.
Did you not play
I don't-
sports growing up?
Leave me alone.
You must not have.
The leave me
Competition
alone told
is
me everything I
everything.
needed to know. Told me everything I needed to know.
You want to get us out of here on that one since you didn't play sports?
Check out my YouTube shorts talking about new rock stars.
Sure.
I've seen it. Go watch it.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
Josh.
Say it. Which
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
I know.